All right, welcome into the Profit First Show. I'm your host, Jay Askew. We got an eventful night, so many videos to react to when it comes down to economics, finances, and just the way people use their money. So, um, it's Friday. I hope you've had a great week. I've had a great week, productive week, and we're gonna have a productive weekend as well. I hope you all are staying safe because it's supposed to be another snowstorm out, and we're gonna be affected by it this weekend. So hopefully the power lines don't go out, but nevertheless, we're still gonna pump these videos out because we're unoutworkable over here. All right, it's called a Profit First Show, so we think about profits first and we put in that work. So, anyways, I don't want to get too lost in the introduction. As always, ground rules. You guys know where the chat box is. If you have anything to say, disagree, agree, share your thoughts, ask questions, then go ahead and type them in the chat. And between each segment, we're going to have the comments show up and pop up as we're having the show. Let's get into the first topic of tonight. And we'll get the show rolling, all right? Let's get it.
Bought a 2025 car and bought a new 3-bedroom apartment with no plan in mind after
I didn't hear
TikTok
the
getting
beginning
banned.
at first. Hold on.
Apartment bought a 2025 car and bought a new 3-bedroom apartment with no plan in mind after TikTok getting banned. I've currently applied to McDonald's, Wendy's, and Taco Bell because I don't have any degrees and I've never worked a job in my life, so I don't think anywhere will hire me. Secondly, I will be selling all of my belongings, starting with these things. So if you live in Central Mississippi, you can now buy all of my belongings, starting with this Merak bike. It has an app built in. It's like a Peloton, but without the Peloton fancy screen and no monthly membership. I got this for about $400. Let's just say you can have it for $60. Here's another angle of it. Here's the seat. Here is where you put your feet in. I've only used it once, so. And here's a QR code to download the app and an iPad phone holder. You can adjust the pressure with that little turner there. Next is this Super Run walking pad. I only used it about 3 times and it was $160, but I'll still let you get it for half off, just $80. Here's a close-up of it. This is an LED screen. Next we have a mini love seat. I really just use it for decor to put my stuffed animals on like this, so nobody ever really sits on it. I got it from Amazon, but I found a drop shipper selling it to give you the info. It's 47 inches. I actually got it for $200.
So I'm confused. Is she like an influencer that's struggling to make money? And she's selling the stuff that she shouldn't have bought in the first place? Because as I'm watching this video, I'm reading the comment section as well. I'm gonna share it with y'all. Look at this. Comment section is blowing up right now. Someone said, if you have a fan base, you can just switch to YouTube or Instagram. Don't give up on content yet. Another person says, this is the moment I've been waiting for. And another person replied, said, you're a hater. Why would you wait on someone's downfall? So I'm guessing she's an influencer that is struggling to pay bills. I've definitely been there before. You know what I'm saying? Views don't always equate to money at all. Subscribers, followers, that does not equate to money.
100, but let's just go off of this. 75. This shoe holder that has 2 racks, and the racks are adjustable if you have bigger shoes. It can technically hold 24 pairs of shoes. If your shoes are more chunky, I'd say maybe like.
I don't even want to look through the items that she has. I want to hear the story.
There's these. So stay tuned for the other things. They're about $90 each. So let's just say you can have both of them for 90 period.
How did this happen?
I'm selling everything to my name because I'm absolutely devastated. So stay tuned for the other things I'm going to post. If you live in Central Mississippi, feel free to message me.
Okay, so this is when the TikTok ban was going on and she had to sell her stuff because she depended on the TikTok platform to pay all her bills. I had to learn this the hard way myself. You know what I'm saying? After making 6 figures online, depending on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok to make income, my issue was not being banned. My issue was not having steady streams of income and not having multiple streams of income, even as an influencer, creator, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, right? A contentpreneur. So at the end of the day, even when you're a content creator, you cannot depend on one platform or one stream of income. Just like when most people depend on a 9 to 5, they depend on that one stream of income to supply their whole lives. And we learned the hard way. It's just that those that decide to pick up the sticks and put in more work to create multiple streams, you always wind up winning at the end.
Most influencers fall off and go broke. Even though most people want to be influencers, this is a simple fact about it. I'll tell you why. So I knew this kid back in high school. If you watch my old video on high school, you know why I smiled there. But anyway, this kid had it all. Well, not really, but he was really good looking. And he blew up on TikTok, and you've all definitely seen this kid. He's from my town, so I knew him pretty well, and he went to LA, moved to LA. Bro's getting the views, bro's getting the brand deals. He was making stupid, retarded money, bro. But the lifestyle kind of got him, bro, because he figured, the views are forever, my followers are forever. So he just kept buying more and more stuff. He was renting like a really expensive house out there, trying to impress girls, yada yada, the whole nine. But then
Yeah, it sounds like he was living above his means, just like many people do when they get a raise or when they get a new job.
something happened. The views dried up. And so when you're on social media, you have a shelf life. This happens to every creator. Views dry up. So what you do before that happens is you build a little infrastructure for yourself so you can financially sustain when you fall off, so you can adapt and reinvent yourself. So that's why I have Retaliation Project, the best clothing brand in the game.
So, anyways, outside of his clothing product that he's about to promote, what he's basically saying is if you're creating content to make a living, that's cool, but we know views eventually die down. Now, I have a very strong opinion towards this. I don't think views will die down if you're a consistent content creator, consistently elevating. But on the other hand, you do need to have a sustainable business on the back end. So he's selling clothing. I personally would not sell clothing because it's not that big of a profit margin. Plus, there's no reason for anybody to go back and buy again when it comes down to your product. You're always going to be looking for new customers. I mean, how many times have you looked for the same brand that you've bought in the past just so you can spend money with that brand? You'd have to have a very strong connection with them. Most people who buy clothes from influencers buy it so they can support the influencer or have and feel like they're a part of a movement. You feel me? They're not doing it because it's the best quality. They're not doing it because they want to feel warm and it's cold outside. They're doing it because they feel connected to the creator themselves. So for me, it would be a digital product, something like an ebook or a membership, a Patreon, something like that, that actually helps people solve a problem that they don't mind continuously paying and investing for it, not only in themselves, but in my brand and who I am as well. So creators need to have that. Most people don't, and that's exactly why when views die, so does their income.
Oh, I don't need to get 400 million views on YouTube. I still have a way of making money. But anyway, point is, he did not do that. He just spunked his money. And so that put a lot of pressure on him. So then he had to go back to Canada, work a job. And when he was working a job, he couldn't post videos anymore. So he ended up losing his whole platform pretty much. He doesn't post anymore. And before you come at me, he said I could post this because he just doesn't care. A lot of y'all want to do social media, but you need a plan to be the man or the woman.
So yeah, but if nobody knows you, they're not going to buy from you in the first place. So if you're asking me what matters most when it comes down to being a creator and why creators go broke, it's obscurity and not having a real business system. Obscurity just means that you're not seen by anybody, right? Nobody knows about you. They can't buy from you if they don't know about you. That's the first problem. You got to be a good marketer. You have to know how to be in front of people, how to understand what people want to watch and who they want to listen to and why they're on the platform in the first place. Once you're seen, then gravitate towards how can I make this more profitable? Because I've definitely opened multiple businesses online and I've started in the profitable business systems that, I just explained earlier. But the problem was I became obscure. I couldn't keep an audience captivated. It would always go in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below if you are part of the creator economy, though.
I get on here complaining that how y'all have to go back working a 9 to 5 because you started hauling and spending money like your ass is Dwayne Wade or some shit. Y'all start getting paid from these social medias and then it's like everything just goes out the window and you just start feeling like you above everything as far as finances. Why, if you starting to get a $4,000 check, you think, oh, let me go get me a high rise in an expensive ass city that you probably paying close to that 4,000 check that you're getting or more, trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, let's not even talk about how easy it is for people to get influenced by influencers, right? The influencers themselves get influenced by other influencers. How many times have you seen people show off a lavish lifestyle, aesthetic lifestyle, and you're looking at yourself like, man, well, I can't really film like I want to because my stuff doesn't look as great as theirs, or my camera isn't as high quality as theirs, or I don't have the same setup as theirs. And so now you feel obligated to have something similar. And now you're playing keep up with the Joneses, not even in real life, but virtually. And this is exactly what most people fall for, that I fell for in the past years. You know how many times I've spent thousands of dollars, not only on physical items, but courses, on mentors. Not to say that they were a waste of money, but I definitely learned important things. But it's just more so about when you get the opportunity to make money online, what do you do with that money? Nowadays, I'm investing that money. I'm putting it into a high yield savings account. I'm putting it into the stock market. I'm putting it into investing into options contracts. I'm not blowing my money. I'm not raising my living expenses. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that influencers or creators and business owners make online when they start to make money online.
I really don't understand that. Help me understand that. This girl just got on here talking about how she was making 60,000 from TikTok. I think
month?
that's a lot of damn money for each month. How do you blow that much money? And now you're talking about now you got to go back working a 9 to 5. Are y'all just dumb? Are y'all dumb? How hard?
Yeah, that's crazy. 60,000 a month. Let's just say you put half of that in a high yield savings account, right? You put $30,000 into a high yield savings account that's paying you, let's say, 3% APY, right? You're getting paid $900 a year. Excuse me, $900 a year. Yeah, $900 a year for that 30,000. But remember, she's putting half of her income into it every month. So we get that 900 and we times it by 12. She's easily pocketing 10 grand a year. 10 grand a year. Just off of that, and we're not even talking about compound interest off of that, because that 10,000 is going to stay in that account, and then it's going to increase the amount that's in that savings account, and then that, you know what I'm saying, and it's going to get hit by another wave of interest that's working in her favor. That's insane. That is insane. 60,000 a month is $2,000 a day. You're literally making somebody's rent in one day, and you find a way to blow it. And you know, a lot of people think, well, if I had the money, then I wouldn't have these type of problems. When honestly, if you don't change your money mindset, you're going to end up in the same type of situations that these influencers that blow 60,000 a month are in. So I see so many comments sometimes where it's like, bro, well, you're not even financially established. Bro, I'm not comparing penny to penny here. It's a mindset thing when it comes down to money. It's a mindset. What are your habits like? How do you view money? Do you know how money works? You know what I'm saying? Having it work for you versus you looking at a dollar amount and seeing how much you got in your savings is not the same as knowing how money works and then making it work for you instead of you trying to keep up with the Joneses. You just can't argue with that.
Is it to stay down until you can stack up some extra money? Like, and nobody's saying not to go, get you a new car, say if you don't got no car. Or go get you a used car because your car that you got is not properly working. Nobody's saying not to do those things or to go and put yourself in a better living situation. But it's like y'all get this extra little bit of money and y'all think y'all just overly rich now. Like, and then when shit starts slowing down, y'all looking like, who the fuck done did it? You did it. You did it. I say all that to say, y'all get on here and be fumbling hella bags. Hella bags. And it be pissing me off because certain opportunities was given to the right people. Motherfuckers ain't fumbling that.
Yeah, everybody says that until they get in that situation and then they do fumble it. Very few people have the financial wisdom because it's not just about motivation and being like, well, if I had it, I wouldn't spend it like you. No, you'd find a way to spend it, whether it be spending it or actually getting into debt. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like to get into debt and they just think about making the minimum payment. So it's not even about that. It's really about how do you view your money and how do you view paying your living expenses that you have now? Instead of keeping up with the Joneses, are you making your money make you money? And then you keep that money, but you only spend the money that you earn technically for free, right? That's the smart way to do it. And people who know how money works know how money works. And that's exactly what separates the wealthy from the poor. There is no such thing as the middle class. All right. I learned this lesson in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. You got the lower class, the middle class, and then the wealthy. The lower class, respectfully, they end up being afraid of credit, so they pay everything off in cash. All right. And they try to save every single dollar. They try to count every single coupon. How can I save money? How can I get over? How can I finesse the system? The middle class, well, they work professional jobs and then they work on their credit just to end up paying more money than what they owe for the actual thing because they take credit so seriously that they look at it as something that's a benefit when honestly, it's something that's keeping you trapped because you're always paying more money when you could have gotten it in a different way and had interest work for you instead of you working for it. And then the middle class prioritize bills. Well, I got to pay this bill. I'm gonna pay this bill ahead of time. Pay this bill ahead of time. But they fail to recognize that investing into themselves, not just with a college degree. Okay, we're not talking about that. All right, because most people stop learning after they get their college degree. They don't go further into investing into themselves in order to multiply their money that they're making, keep their living expenses low, and then they keep up with the Joneses with getting a house, getting a new car, what I'm saying, getting the white picket fence, having a family, and it's like their finances can't keep up with it, and that's exactly why they complain about the cost of living, which we'll get into in a couple in the next segment. But anyways, the wealthy get the money that they work for, make the money work for them. Then the money that they earn from the money working for them, they spend on luxurious items. It's very simple, but it's a principle that has to be heard over and over and over. And you got to get it ingrained in your head. I know this because I have to do this. If I don't remind myself by taking in the type of content, ebooks, audiobooks, courses, YouTube videos, to remind me, this is how I need to be spending, this is how I need to be viewing money, this is how I need to be investing money, then I will be subjective to, or not subjective, I will fall victim to the middle class thinking and the lower class thinking as well, because that's how most people are in this world. I ain't trying to be like that. I'm not even trying to. I'm not going to. I refuse to be like that.
A lot of these celebrities and influencers may seem like they have a lot of money, but they don't. They live check to check just like everybody else. Some of them, not all of them, but a lot of the ones that portray these lifestyles, like they always going on vacation and they always buying, certain, luxury brands and stuff like that. They don't have it like they portray that they have it online. 99% of these people are using y'all as the method. When y'all buy stuff from them, they use those funds to then go purchase the stuff that they told y'all that they have on hand, and then that's when they ship them out to y'all weeks and weeks later. And a lot of these gurus that be selling these courses, no matter what kind of course it is, all they do is just copy and paste from somebody else. They buy it from somebody else for $500, $1,000, and then they just memorize it and regurgitate it to y'all like they.
Now, here's my thing about courses. Nothing new is under the sun. So if you invest into a course that you get from an influencer or creator or whatnot, or a business owner or entrepreneur, then yeah, it's being regurgitated. But here's the thing. Imagine you getting a course in Espanol, you know what I'm saying? Spanish. If you're not bilingual, you're not going to understand what the hell they're saying. And it's going to take you 10 times more effort to translate what's being taught and then learning and then applying what's being taught in that course, right? But if you get the same course that's translated into English, your brain doesn't have to work as much towards understanding what the course is teaching, what to do, how to apply it, and the systems that follow along with it. The whole point that I'm getting to is it's not necessarily about the information. It's really about the implementation and how well you're able to digest that information in. How many times has something been taught to you in class or in a college course or in anything, even down to a YouTube video, and you're like, I can't really vibe with this creator, but I vibe with this creator and how he explains things. We can't control who actually understands us. We can only communicate to the best of our abilities, and you can get better at communication, but not everybody is going to accept the way you communicate. So same thing with these creators and entrepreneurs, because I've definitely invested into courses that I'm like, bro, this is like the same thing that I've learned. I could have done this by myself. And then there's other people who explain it in a more in-depth way, or a more a better way for me to receive the information. And I'm like, I never thought about it like that. And it was just like a light bulb. I'll tell you right now, one of the best mentors that I've ever had cost me $15 a month, man. And I've learned more with him than I have investing like $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 in other courses. So shout out to him for that, for sure, because you just got, it's like trial and error. You know what I'm saying? But if you invest in a course, you're investing into yourself, is what I believe. A lot of people have negative emotions and beliefs about it, but I don't give a damn. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for courses and the mentors that God has allowed to be in my life. So
been knowing it for XYZ amount of years. A lot of these people are staying in influencer and celebrity homes, which means that there are probably 10 of them in a 4-bedroom house. And a lot of people who have these exotic cars are pooling their money together and sharing these cars. So it's a different person driving that car every day of the week. So please stop feeling like you're behind for your age, because a lot of people are faking.
yeah, and this is one of the reasons why I got off of Instagram. I literally, like, when I say get off, like, I still post from now every now and then to like actually document my accomplishments in life, like a photo album. But the reason why I stopped being on Instagram and TikTok and whatnot is because it's so fast to scroll and then look and then digest and then scroll. Like, it's like being a dopamine monkey or something, right? So personally, I enjoy YouTube a lot better, and I spend a lot more time up here because I go on YouTube not to be necessarily entertained, but informed and educated. And that helps me be more productive. I don't even get comparison syndrome like I used to anymore, because the people that I'm learning from are the people that I aspire to be like. You know what I'm saying? Or that I share the same thoughts. Like on Instagram and stuff, you don't get to choose which video you watch. I mean, the algorithm just shows it to you automatically. YouTube, at least you get to search. You know what I'm saying? People don't use usually Instagram and TikTok to just search a topic and then just look. The algorithm just throws videos right in your face. You know what I'm saying? So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
I think all these influencers are lying about being rich. I'm almost at 1 million followers. Broke as fuck. Well, not broke, but like I go to my regular minimum wage job every single day, 5 days a week, clock in. That's how I pay all of my bills. Is that my thing? I did my taxes and I only got 3 brand deals this year, each for $2,000, which works out to like $500 extra a month. Amazing, gorgeous. I can never be happier. But I'm just saying $500 a month is not livable. You know, like, but I am super grateful for it. But I'm saying that's all that I got. Like, you could see, you know? And I think just these influencers are lying to you. I think because they're either trying to sell you a course or tell you how great their life is after, you know, you've insulted them. But there's nothing up here. I'm up here now with everybody else, and I'm telling you that there is nothing up here. And
she's in the wrong industry. Obviously, if she has over 1 million followers and she's only made $6,000, then obviously you're doing something wrong. Again, followers don't equate to income when it comes down to being an influencer. I know it's an influence. You're an influencer and you have an influence, and that's what you get paid for having an influence. But the problem is these type of people don't know how to make their own business structure. These type of people don't know where the money is at. And the reason why I say this is because I was in that exact same situation. But I always had a business in the background of my social media. Even when I had 2,000 followers on Instagram, I was making $100,000 in 1 year. All right. Even when I had 30,000 followers on Instagram, right? I started from zero. In my first month, only having about 3,000 followers, I was able to make $4,000 in a month. So with these type of people who talk about, well, you know, it's just the money isn't out here. You don't know where the money is at. This is one of the reasons why I'm on YouTube. Because I noticed YouTube pays a lot more just to make quality content. And I've been consistent for 5-6 years? And you're telling me all I got to be is consistent just the way I've been consistent the past 5-6 years, but on YouTube, and I get paid a lot more, and I get to help people, and I get to talk about the things that I want to. I don't have to do all this fancy editing and whatnot. I know y'all see the layout and everything, but it's not as fancy as you think. Like, honestly, I make it to be more productive than for me to have to put in all this work to have everything work in the system set up. So yeah, if she got 1 million followers and only making $6,000 in a year, she's definitely doing something wrong. Someone said in the comments section, I want to point out, it's just oversaturated now, babe. There's so many influencers right now. In 2014, there was only a few of us, and most people made their bulk of money then. this type of mindset is called the scarcity mindset, y'all. This is literally what makes people say, well, money doesn't grow on trees. It's paper, okay? Money is abundant. They keep printing it off, and now they're getting rid of money, apparently. So guess what? They keep showing it. They keep creating pixels to represent money. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand? Money, the dollar, was created as a token for representation of gold ownership. At a certain point, there was too many dollars. There was more dollars than there was gold. So it does grow on trees. It is an abundance of money. But this mindset is just terrible, honestly. One person responded and said, I miss your videos. I haven't seen you in decades. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into the drama. They talking about like celebrities or whatever. So, anyways. Yeah, if you got millions of followers and you only made a couple thousand, you signed up for the wrong business.
You know what? I hear people say, wow, you would be a great influencer. And I'm like, really? But I don't think in the way that you really want me to influence. Like, I'm not going to have you out here spending money, running up credit cards, getting cars that, you can't afford. I don't want to influence people like that. I want to influence people to get your ass out there and work, keep your job, and be an influencer part-time, okay?
Hey, I mean, you know what I'm saying? As long as you being honest with you, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that at all. But you can hear how she thinks that being an influencer is like more of a negative point of view. That's why she puts quotes on it and say, that's the type of influencer I want to be. It's like, that's the point of being an influencer. You influence people on your own beliefs, and people can disagree and people can agree, but you're still influencing. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below as well.
TikTok's not paying anymore, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Less than a year ago, I was making about $1.29 per 1,000 views. Now I'm making anywhere from 28 cents to 40 cents per 1,000 views.
I'm sorry, $1.29 for 1,000 views is insane. YouTube pays so much more.
And my content structure, rollout, none of it's really changed. There was a guy who just came out and said that he's making only 1 cent per 1,000 views. And he's got over 15 million followers, and he does millions of views per video. Just back in August, I made $5,000 in August just on TikTok. 5,000. Now I'm barely averaging anywhere from $300 to $400 a month. And I think I know what the problem is. I genuinely think that it's the AI content creators, the AI accounts on here that are clip farming and mining other creators' actual
11 o'clock.
content and work, and then repurposing it across dozens of channels. And they are mining money off of the RPM and rewards program from TikTok, and the algorithm's finally just gone, okay, well, then no one is going to get paid.
So here's the thing. If you didn't know, now you know. People who do clip farm and whatnot, they use this business structure that originated from a guy named Andrew Tate. Basically, the creator that's in the video pays a marketing package, like some type of budget, some type of marketing budget to people like you and I who just get their content, cut little segments out, put it on platforms, and make it go viral. And they teach you how to make their own videos go viral. So here's the thing. They're not worried about getting paid from TikTok. That's just the side money, right? They're looking at how much the creator themselves are going to pay just for having that one piece of content hit a certain number of views. So they're getting paid for the views outside of TikTok or the other platforms, because the creators that are in the video, the creator that's in the video is literally paying just to get more views, to get more visibility, because they have a business structured behind their content that allows people to say, hey, I want to spend my money with you. And so obviously this probably had something to do with the economy in TikTok or social media platforms, to where, hey, these genuine creators that are not allowing people to just clip their content or not paying people to clip their content, it's affecting their pay. It doesn't mean there's a shortage of money. It just means there's an increase of content that's getting more views and getting multiplied. So the wealth has gone somewhere else. I believe it's a wealth transfer because somebody got to be getting the money. Somebody's got to be getting the money, or the money's more divided because there's so much more content on that platform because there's AI and a whole bunch of clipping. And, it's not just that one creator posting their own content. It's like 1,000 people reposting that creator's content. You know what I'm saying? It's like having 1,000 TikTok accounts and you're uploading the same pieces of content just to get seen more.
I think that's what's happened because I've seen the apparently Instagram stop paying on a creator fund in like 2023, but they're not even inviting people into the pay program anymore because they had a pay program they would at least invite you into. And
Yeah, I was a part
Facebook
of that.
just changed its whole structure on pay too. Now no one's making money on Facebook.
Yeah, that's cap. I'm not sure where he's getting this information from, but I definitely easily made about $400 with Facebook, and they gave me like a bonus. You know what I'm saying? Like my content did not go viral at all on Facebook. At all. At all. I mean, I didn't even get 100 likes. I barely even got 10 comments and I got paid $400. You know what I'm saying? From Facebook itself because they gave me bonuses, but you get paid off of engagement from Facebook more so than just views. So people comment, people save, people share, people like. The engagement pays on Facebook, and watch time helps increase it being boosted in the algorithm and other people's algorithms. So I know plenty of people who make a bag off of Facebook, but it's more than likely off of short form content. So not sure where he got that information from, but I know for sure there is money in Facebook. Will I go to Facebook? Not right now, because YouTube pays more.
YouTube. I never thought I'd say this in 2026, having to go to YouTube probably here just to
What'd I just
actually
say?
start remonetizing. And even then, like they're flagging people left and right on YouTube. It's a sinking ship, and I don't know if we should stay on it or just keep using TikTok at least.
So yeah, YouTube is flagging people who create repetitive content. It's not original creators. So a lot of people create what's called YouTube automation, and this is why they're going to end up going broke because they use AI voices, they use AI videos, they use other people's videos literally just to narrate some type of story sometimes. And YouTube is like, hey, we see what you're doing. You're using AI. We like it. We're adopting it, but we're not ready to be paying you and bring you a part of our monetization program. So there's a lot of rules and regulations against repetitive content. One of the pieces of content that I have made has gotten like a copyright strike, but it hasn't gotten to the point where YouTube is like, yeah, you're not eligible for monetization. The reason being is because I create actual content. I'm not AI. You know what I'm saying? He's not AI. I'm actually creating a new piece of content based off of another piece of content. And a lot of people are just lazy. They don't want to show their face. They just want to be, printing off money. And there's money in it, but it's also a very high risk because AI is still rather new when it comes down to the creator economy. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
So I'm going to jump on the
TikTok's not paying anymore,
Oh,
guys.
shoot.
So I'm going to jump on the TikTok creator going broke bandwagon because I think this is a good opportunity to talk to my non-wage earners, right? A lot of people, they quit their 9 to 5s to pursue content creation 100% of the time, which was a very non-strategic thing to do, right? All trends come to an end. You have to focus on longevity, right? A lot of you had
Facts.
all this income coming in. You said, well, I'm going to quit my job, but you had no real plan, right? To you, content creation was going to be for everything. And that's not how that works, right? Now, I'm not considered a content creator. I'm a financial educator, right? I have all the credentials, and my community is literally maybe obtained on social media because that's how I spread my message, but it's not maintained on social media. Not only that, you have to diversify your way of making income and you have to make the income last or outlast your presence on social media,
True.
right? And even in your regular W 2 job, your income has to outlast the time that you give to your employer, right? So I make sure that with my money, I plan strategically because I know as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a self employed, whatever you want to call yourself, there are going to be economic downturns and there's going to be change. Social media was a big change, right? Social media changed the face of advertising, it changed the face of overall economic day to day, right? People don't have to actually go into work. They can be a content creator. They can have their own business and reach their majority, like myself, on social media, right? Not like back in the day where there's brick and mortar. Not only that, you have to diversify your offerings, right? I have my mastermind, which is for people who are well into non-wage earning activities and want to actually have a visual hands-on learning experience. I have a book for those who aren't ready for the mastermind. I'm working on other projects, right, that offer longevity, that outlast me, and that offer value to.
So essentially, what she's saying is to create digital assets behind what you are already knowledgeable about, which I actually love because this is exactly what influencers miss. They try to get brand deals, they try to get a lot of views, but views don't equate to money, and neither do followers. When they get brand deals, they get brand deals, but that's barely enough to pay the bills because, well, you got to keep on getting the brand deal, and hopefully they don't leave you. But the whole point is, you are the business. Check this out. Essentially what she's saying is she'll create content, and let's just say she teaches people finances and how to, invest into yourself and create an investment account, right? So instead of just creating content and hoping that she makes the most money from creating content about financial advice, she's actually teaching people, hey, if you're having this problem, here's the solution. You can get this ebook. Or if you're more of a busier person, upgrade and pay a little bit more and you'll get this audiobook. And once you get the audiobook or the ebook, then it'll promote, let's say, a webinar she has. And the webinar might be free or it might be $10, $20 or whatever. And it's live. So you know you're going to be in a Zoom room that's actually educating you on financial advice. And then once you're part of the webinar, she sells the course, and the course is a couple $100s. And then once you get the course, you can actually get more one-on-one help with her from her if you join her membership. And if you join her membership, you're paying a monthly price. And in the membership, you can work closer with her if you book a private session for a 4-digit price. There's different levels when it comes down to being a creator, creating content, and having a business structure backed up. This is why I'm so grateful that I learned the business systems before I actually started getting traction on these different platforms, because at the end of the day, most influencers and creators miss this. This is why they go broke. I can't say this is why they have bad money habits. They still spend the money unwisely. But let's just say most people don't know how to set up that structure, and that's what keeps them stuck. They don't have diversification, just like she explained. Let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts about this? Do you believe that influencers should follow a business model, or should they just stay wishing upon the algorithm that they make more money? Because I know my mentor personally makes over $100,000 a month just by making long form content on YouTube. This is without brand deals, and this is just strictly YouTube AdSense. So he works his ass off and he's teaching me, but I'm like, he's been making that for like 2 years, and his income hasn't dipped below $100,000 in like 2 years. $100,000 per month just off of YouTube AdSense. So I think that's insane. But I'm saying he still has a business structure behind it.
I'm so fucking pissed. I'm so fucking pissed.
What's going on?
So I've been on TikTok for one year. 1 year I've been fucking on here every day, fucking just doing the TikTok fucking shit. And then I finally made it to 10,000 followers. I get into the creator rewards program. I just got in December. And everything's doing good. I'm finally fucking making money.
Yeah.
And then today I switched over to like business account. So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess because I'm making money, right? Business. Guess what? I lost all my money. TikTok fucking
Bro,
took
what?
all my money because I switched to business account. I switched it for just a few hours. And it's
Why
like,
though?
oh, boom, disqualified. I went to go check on my money. It's all fucking gone. And you know what? You can't appeal it. They're like, oh yeah, you can't appeal it. I'm like, you motherfuckers. I worked my ass off for a whole fucking year for you, bitch. And you fucking do that to me? They're probably not even gonna show this one because I'm swearing too much. But I'm just so mad. I'm so mad. So don't switch your account to business or else you're going to lose all your money.
That's insane. The fact that if you switch you switch your your account to a different type, she lost all her monetization. It shouldn't be that way. She already earned the money because she already got the views and engagement or whatever, right? But as I'm looking in the comments section, the people on TikTok are literally saying they took $714 from me just for switching to a business account. Someone else said it's clear their guidelines that you can only make money on creator reward if your TikTok is not a business account. But can she not switch back? Like she said, she made it sound like she couldn't go back to monetization, yo. Like, where does the money go? Also, sorry, I love your videos and information. Blah 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 blah. Okay, she has no idea where the money went. Yeah, and see, this is one of the reasons why I was like, I'm not going on no TikTok. I'm not putting on all my eggs in the basket of TikTok because first of all, they're trying to ban it. Second of all, they're trying to ban it. Third of all, they're wishy washy. They're not even owned by the U.S. And a lot of people don't like it now because it is owned by the U.S. But you know, these other social platforms are, and I'm like, I don't know if those are as wishy washy, but TikTok definitely has a lot of controversy going on, and they just, yeah. Somebody else said in the comment section, real quick, before we go into the next clip, TikTok shop gone today, lost all my commissions. What? That's crazy. Now, TikTok shop blew up when it first came out, and it's still blowing up, I believe. But for all your commissions to be gone is insane. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you know somebody who has been affected by this at all on TikTok?
So y'all don't know when people switch management, when companies switch management, they go through glitches, they go through system changes. Some things might not work for a week, a day. Do y'all have anything else to do? Any real careers other than content creating, other than getting on TikTok and making videos? Because I'm a nurse, but I make good money off content too. But I'm not stuck on here like, oh, my livelihood. That's why you always have to invest in 7 yet 8, like he said in Ecclesiastes. Go read your scripture. Y'all too hard down about this TikTok app. It ain't going nowhere. They can't just take our money and stop paying us. That's not how it works.
I don't know about that.
Y'all did the same thing when y'all heard it was being banned. And I keep telling y'all are fear mongers. Just like y'all went and bought up all the toilet tissue, the milk, and the bottle of water, and the sun is out right now. It wasn't no snow in Texas. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all have no survival skills around here. And we can tell. Go find something to do. This your only platform?
Yeah, this is why you got to diversify yourself. But again, I'm for YouTube. I'm for YouTube, man. I learned my lesson with that short form stuff, man. And I still sometimes create short form content, but it's not a primary um objective of mine to be doing that.
Can I be honest with y'all? TikTok lowering the RPM low key made me go back to posting stuff that I actually like posting. It made me go back to stop overthinking my post and thinking too much into posting certain things because I was hyper focused on the money. All right. It got to the point where I was so hyper focused on the money that it started to feel like a job.
But it is a job though. This is the thing, it is a job. You see, I hate it when I hear people say things like, well, content creation, you should be creative. Okay, cool, cool, cool. But if you're going to get paid by it, it's a job. At the end of the day, even if it's not your mainstream of income, it's a job. You know why? Because some people do it full time. They take it wholeheartedly. They take it seriously. They take it like a job. They show up to it like a 9 to 5. And guess what? They make the most money. So it is a job.
So and I've lost the art of just having fun on the app and making posts that I just enjoy making outside of making money. And so by them lowering the RPM now, I don't really think as much when I post up. I don't even care sometimes if the video ain't a minute because it don't matter.
So obviously her bag ain't coming from TikTok because if it was actually coming from TikTok or from actually making a lot of money with content, she'd feel a certain type of way. The thing is, making content, I was about to say YouTube, making content is a job because you can earn money from it. But it's only those that are showing up like it's a job that make the biggest rewards.
Whether or not I get paid or not, because if they do pay me, it don't pay me nothing anyway. So like just removing that just made me enjoy it a little bit more. And it's not that I was rage baiting at any point, but I did know, I'm self aware enough to know that a lot of the topics that I've addressed, that touchy topics, they controversial topics, they get engagement by discussing it, but that's not necessarily rage bait. But again, to the point, I do like that now I feel like posting again. I do get enjoyment out of posting versus just being so focused on the money. Now, with all that being said, I still want them to put the RPM back like it used to be. Like, make no mistake, I still want the money back. I still want the money back. But
So you want to not treat it like a job and get paid like it is a job.
I do enjoying posting the content again.
That's cool and everything, but obviously those who don't take it serious ain't gonna make the most money. So you know what I'm saying? You could that's just a telltale sign. And maybe she was never looking at TikTok to make money from. But for me, look, as much time as people spend on social media, scrolling, and wasting time, they're not earning money. They're wasting their time that they never get back. I'm gonna get paid if I scroll. You know what I'm saying? This is my daily dose of scrolling right here, getting these videos for y'all. Okay, cool. I'm turning into a profit. I'm all about productivity and capitalizing on time and making the money. It's called the Profit First Show, man. If you don't like money, get out. If you think money is a shortage, you got something to learn today, man. You know what I'm saying? We're up here to understand what people's thoughts are, but also to give our own opinion, man. Because honestly, if you ain't getting paid off of social media, if you know what, I can't even speak for you. If I'm not getting paid off of being on social media, I wouldn't be on it. I don't care what anybody thinks about me when they see me online. You know, I know who I am in real life, but I also don't care to be in front of a screen for hours. I feel like I'm wasting my life at a certain point, man. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Do you ever get to that point where you're like fatigued of like scrolling and you're like, damn, man, it's already like 1 o'clock. I ain't got too much done today. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, man.
People were saying Polo G is embarrassing for flying premium economy and that he's broke, weak shit because he should be flying private as a rapper. Listen right here. There's a reason why if any of you ever touch money, you become broke and sucking dick on the corner of the street for $2.
Bro,
Because
what?
that premium economy seat is probably $400 and it's probably free because you
Bro,
probably
why is he talking like that, bro? Bruh.
Amex Platinum because he's goated, all right? Now, private jet, when you private jet, like if I wanted a private jet from California to New York, it would cost $30,000. You know what you could do with $30,000? You could buy a new Toyota Prius. It's like when T-Pain showed why he was flying economy, because the private jets are a waste of fucking money, and he still has money. He has a Koenigsegg. Like OBJ made generational wealth during the NFL, and now he is struggling because he just spends so much. And why am I protecting Polo J so much? Have you heard Martin and Gina? We like Martin and Gina.
All right, anyways, with that goofy shit. There's two sides to every coin. Two sides to every slice of bread. Obviously, paying $30,000 to get on a flight costs a lot. But I also had a mentor that talks about how inconvenient it is for you to fly on these commercial flights. You know what I'm saying? You obviously are around a lot of other people. All right. They can potentially lose your bags. There's a longer wait time. And those that have more resources abundantly and have the money work for them or know how to make the money faster, they're going to be willing to spend it at the end of the day. The mentor that I know that actually talks about paying $30, $40, $50,000 for a flight, they talk about having their mentees pay for their mentorship to be with him in person. So basically, I think he has like a 3-day program where you're hanging out with him in person all day and learning something that's transformational about your business. And mind you, these people aren't making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. These people are making like $100,000 days, $1 million days. So they're well off in business. But he talks about how that like his mentees pay him like I think $300,000 to $400,000 to $700,000 just to spend 3 days with him. That obviously pays for the flight. You know what I'm saying? So,
y'all, Dylan Page has just confirmed that it's not just us who has taken a hit from TikTok. He has just confirmed that he makes $0 from TikTok. A man with what, 15 million? I mean, he might have more than that now, but a page with 15 million plus followers makes basically $0 from TikTok. Mind you, all his videos do millions of views. He's a news channel, and it's just so interesting that he said his RPM is at 0.001 or 0.001. And so he's getting 1 cent per thousand views, which means if you do the math, in order for him to get $1, you see what I'm
100,000.
saying? Like, that's insane to me that TikTok has truly, I mean, I don't necessarily know if they're ever coming back, but it's so insane to me that you can have that big of a following and then you don't even monetize off of it. Like, that's insane. And
Again, because the followers do not equate to dollars.
yes, obviously in the past, he made probably $1 million, but now because they have changed everything, bro's not seeing the money. And mind you, I'm saying this because he's a big page, a huge page, and if he's taking a hit,
Yeah, I saw bro, and I actually did research. I looked him up, and I saw that he created, or he already has a YouTube channel, and he's starting to upload over there. He even said that he's migrating to YouTube as well. So shout out to Dylan Page, man.
Controversial opinion, but I think that most influencers are going to end up going broke, and I'm going to explain to you why I know this. I'm saying most, not all. Just keep that in mind. It's pretty comparable to being an athlete, a famous athlete. Just keep that in mind while I'm speaking, because we have real stats from athletes. We don't have as many stats from influencers. I went to an event 7 years ago, and this lives just rent-free in my mind. It was hosted by a popular Instagrammer called The Fat Jewish, and if you don't know who that is, then I think it just kind of further proves the point. And at this event, he explained that what happens to famous people is one of two things. Either your platform is fleeting, so think like eventually in sports, like you retire or you might get an injury, but like think of for influencers like Vine, that what happened to Vine, or TikTok potentially getting banned in the US. The other thing is that you might be fleeting. Hey, you might get canceled. You might not want to do this forever. You might retire. Like, you might not want to make YouTube videos for the next 30 years. So one of those two things can happen to you, or will happen to you, which brings me to my second point. How many influencers do you know, or athletes do you know, that have really stayed relevant long term? It's a very small proportion of them, right? If you think of someone like an athlete.
Yeah, this is why I always was against like men my age. I'm 27 years old. Men my age creating little videos where they walking up to females, asking them out and stuff. Like, that's cool and everything when you're a teenager and everything. But once you get into the real world, you graduate college, you start to work 40 hours a week plus more. You don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to be watching YouTube videos on a Friday night about a, I'm trying to keep it clean, man, about a dude, you know what I'm saying, walking up on a shorty and then being like, hey, what would you rate my fit? You know what I'm saying? This, you know, your audience grows as well. And so it's important to understand what you start off with is not what you're going to continue doing. You must evolve as a creator if you want to stay relevant. That's how most creators and influencers fall off and go broke. They don't know how to evolve. If you look at my channel, you will see that I first started talking off in my car, talking off right at this desk, talking about digital products and how you, a 9-to-5er, can make money online. Well, I had to learn that that same type of content that blew me up to 30,000 followers on Instagram and helped me make over 6 figures online by just uploading organic content was not going to work on YouTube. I had to find a different strategy on YouTube. And that's why you see so many long form pieces of content, because I'm going to outwork most people when it comes down to creating, because I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get rich. I'm doing it so I can find out what works for me. And then when I start to get traction, I'm like, let's capitalize on it. And then let's rebuild it. Let's go into these different stages to learn how to adapt, how to make the best content possible, because we're already seeing great results with it. And let's move forward with it. All right. We're going to worry about the money later on. The money's going to come just because we're consistent and we're continuously evolving and looking how to grow. Most influencers don't think like that.
Athletics that's still famous, they're probably doing something to keep themselves relevant. Like if we think of Shaq went and did like a billion different things to stay relevant. But that's not every athlete that you can think of. That's not every person that's ever been on a sports team. It's a very small number. And that's why I say I think most influencers will go broke. It ties into my third point. What did Shaq do differently? that kept him relevant.
Bro, me and my girl always talk about Shaq, man. Like I go into Best Buy just to look around because I'm a nerd at heart, and I'm like, yo, Shaq is everywhere. He played basketball. Like, what is he doing in Best Buy? You see the little statues of Shaq in the Apple section, in the HP section, in the washer and dryer section, in the refrigerator section. You see Shaq on the General Insurance commercials. You see Shaq on the Papa John's commercials, the Shaqaroni pizza. You know what I'm saying? Shaq is everywhere. He's on a mattress company commercial and marketing campaign and stuff. Like Shaq is everywhere, man. He makes himself omnipresent.
Versus any other athlete, and how you as an influencer can do something different. The Fat Jewish at this event spoke about how it was so important to build other streams of income because he knew he wouldn't stay relevant forever, whether it was because of the platform shutting down or him just not wanting to do it. He built all these different income streams, which is something that Shaq did as well. Shaq owns like a bunch of restaurants and does all kinds of different things to keep that income coming. When you get a lot of money coming towards you, whether it's working your 9 to 5, whether it's being a famous athlete or an influencer, it's very common that something occurs called lifestyle creep. That's where you start getting the G classes, the mansions, you upgrade your car, you upgrade your apartment, you upgrade your wardrobe, you upgrade all these different things. No matter what the scale is, you're upgrading. But when you upgrade like that, you're setting a certain standard for yourself, which means that you're either change your desk to continue working your 9 to 5, or that like 67%, I think it is, of NBA players that retire within 2 years go broke because you weren't managing your money well along the way. You were expecting these certain calibers of lifestyle, but you weren't investing money to make sure that
That's why I'm so grateful that when I was making money online with the other businesses, I started on other platforms off of YouTube that I actually lost money. Like I actually didn't make the money I wanted to make. A lot of people would have been grateful for the money I made. And I was grateful in the moment too, but I've also burned through all of that. And it wasn't a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? $5,000, $6,000 a month, you know what I'm saying, isn't a lot of money. You know, $7,000, $8,000 a month isn't a lot of money, but you can think that way because you're making money up here. And it's like, yo, I've never met any of these people in person. And you know what I'm saying? I was an online fitness coach charging $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for online fitness programs. And it's because I invested into myself. But, you know, upgrading your lifestyle is the real trap once you start to make more money, man. So I'm grateful that I learned that lesson because now I care about sustainability. Now the money I'm making online is going I'm investing that mug. You know what I'm saying?
stayed with you long term. And that's why if I was an athlete or if I was an influencer, if I was any of these things, I'd be making sure to have like a panel of people helping me manage my money if I didn't know what I was doing, and be investing like over 80% of my income because I know in my head that this is fleeting. That's why I think most people will end up going broke because they're not doing that.
I agree. That was a really good statement. Subscribe if you like the content.
You can tell when an influencer's money ain't hitting the way it used to, or the checks is not rolling in. I'm not saying that they're broke, but the input is, getting very close to the output. Okay, they need some money quick. Because do y'all remember the OG YouTuber Nicole Guerrero? She was a beauty guru, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. All her videos did numbers. Like she had collabs with the high-end makeup brands that would sell out. Everybody loved this makeup guru, right? I started to turn a little side eye at her because she's a beauty guru and she did a collaboration with the army. I didn't even know that armies collaborated with influencers, let alone a beauty influencer, somebody who sits and does makeup, right? But yeah, she did a collaboration with the army, to encourage people to join the army. Very weird and not on brand, very off brand for her. But when the money is funny and the change is strange, you do crazy stuff. I feel like a lot of OG, content creators and influencers, they've fallen off because they refuse to, adapt with all the new social medias coming out. They just think that their name will carry them forever, and it just doesn't. And so now she's come out with
No, I think your name will carry you forever as long as people know your name. It's your marketing. It's like McDonald's. You know what McDonald's is, right? McDonald's is somebody's last name, the McDonald brothers. All right. Or Shaq, like we just talked about Shaq. So when we look at branding, your name can be remembered. It's just more about like staying relevant on social media because it's so fast paced. You got to align with what you're promoting at the same time. Otherwise, your audience is going to feel a disconnection. You know, I got a couple. I'm not even going to say it. I'll say it later. It's not the time for me to say it.
You know, her own line, her own company, where she's selling a single candle for $60. Now you're competing with brands like Bath and Body Works. You have no other products, just the one candle for $60. Okay, you're not consistent. Like, you used to post hella vlogs. You're not even consistent on social media anymore. Your name doesn't carry anymore. You're gonna sell a $60 freaking candle.
Yup.
And collaborate with the U.S.
Yup.
Army, like, in.
Yeah, you got to be consistent. She lost it when she stopped being consistent, man. She lost it when she stopped being consistent. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think there's more reasons why influencers are going broke? Is it really just money management, or is it like a broken system in the creator economy? Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you like the content. All right, my people, that was the first section of tonight's show. We're going to go into the second section, which is Americans complaining about the new cost of living in the United States. Let's get it.
Not the overspending, it's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen
living in America right.
It's not the overspending, it's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials' cost of living in today's world. So number one is rent. Everyone knows that Gen Z and millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500. If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still going to run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment $500. You're going to have groceries for $500. You're going to have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline.
Okay. Cell phone, I'm not paying $150. I'm paying $20 a month. I have a family plan. Be wise, even if you're not on the family plan, like get a group of friends and like joint, like have multiple lines. You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying for no cell phone on a monthly basis. I'm gonna buy mine used off of eBay or Amazon, and I'm gonna pay cash for it. Or I'm gonna buy a phone off of somebody I know. I bought this phone from somebody I know for $150. It's an iPhone 14 Plus. No, it's not the best phone in today's world, but it does everything I need to do in order for me to make money and show up to my 9 to 5. Gas, y'all gonna hate me for saying this, but I have a Tesla and I don't pay $300 for gas. I might pay. I'm gonna show y'all the stats real quick, and then we're gonna go back to it. I want to give y'all real numbers. Let me see. Charge stats. In the past month, I have paid. And this is actually more than what I actually spent. It's actually a miscalculation. It's probably like $40 cheaper than that. In gas, I've paid $125 in a month. In the last 30 days, $125. In December 2025, I spent $95. It's one of the reasons why I love electric vehicles, or at least a Tesla.
Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year, or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance, and do a healthy $500 401k contribution, that leaves you at $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing.
Hold on. Okay. Well, the clothes, like I said, I'm very simple on the clothes. Y'all see me almost every show, every video. I'm wearing a black shirt. I go to Sam's Club, buy these things for $6. I work out, pay a $25 gym membership that my job has a benefit for, and it pays for the gym membership for me. But these jonts like $6, man. If you work out, you ain't got to keep buying all these clothes and stuff. I could care less about a name brand. That's crazy though. Yeah, he's spitting facts right now.
And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and the down payments, another $50,000. So they need $105,000. So even if they were somehow able to scrounge up after $70,000 of paycheck to paycheck, $5,000 to go to a concert, to have avocado toast, whatever it is, $5,000 a year, It would take them 20 years to pay off this debt and save up for a house. 20 years.
Okay, so a house is a scam unless you're making money from it. You know, it's the American lie to where, yeah, you own it, so you're winning. No, your ass owe the banks. We got a home ownership topic coming up on it later on in the show. I'm not about to get into it with y'all, man. But owning a house, no. Uh-uh. People count it as an asset. Oh, the equity can go up. Okay, but it's not in your account. You like, you know what I'm saying? Is it liquid? You can't, you counting vanity metrics right now because you're not even touching it. You feel me? It's nah, bruh.
Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury, rent is robbery, healthcare is a joke, and somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick, you can't afford to rest, you can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians.
That's the problem right there. You know, I was listening to a podcast earlier this week talking about how if you don't have multiple streams, you probably don't have a lot of money. Let that sink in. If you don't have multiple streams of income, you probably don't have a lot of money. Why? Because you don't have many things working for you besides you. That's the difference. Oh, billionaires. They got other people working for them. They have assets working for them. And you can get mad at the world and people can play victim if they want to. Well, it's hard out here. People with kids and look. Last time I checked, nobody held a gun to your head and made you have kids. All right. People use kids as excuses, and I don't even have kids. I got nieces and nephews. But here's the thing. People use their kids more of as an excuse more than a reason to do better in life. That's the thing that I hate about hearing these kids' excuses. Oh man, we got kids. What? That's motivation, bro. I ain't even got kids, and I'm motivated to take care of my future family.
Trade stocks and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity. We got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a 1-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough, when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line.
Because it's a lie.
This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones.
Exhausted and lazy. Let's be real here. It's okay to be exhausted. There's nothing wrong with that. Being lazy is a choice. Being exhausted isn't. So if we focus on what we can control, lazy versus exhausted, lazy, you're choosing not to do something. If you're exhausted, you can't, right? But everybody isn't exhausted. Let's be honest. They watching Netflix tonight. They watching Hulu. They're not reading books. They stopped learning after they got out of college or out of high school. They only have one stream of income. Yeah, they might be saving up for retirement, but they have no other way of multiplying their efforts to make more money while they're not working. They're begging their bosses and their employers for a raise because they've been there for a specific amount of time. And all of this comes from a lie, a foundation of a lie. If you work harder, you deserve more work. I challenge you to think outside the box and say, if you work hard running, the person driving the sports car is still going to pass you. So learn how to work harder in a different vehicle.
How am I going to pay you $500 a month if I'm getting paid $9?
It's $9 an hour, not $9 a day. $9 per hour.
Shut your mouth. I'm going to go on my calculator. $9 times like 8.
Yeah.
72.
And they're going to take taxes out too.
So like $60.
And Social Security.
$500 a month and I'm getting $60 a day? You're taking like all my money. Are you paying for my gas? Are you feeding me?
I'll feed you.
Are you paying for my gas?
No.
Then you're not getting $500 a month.
Where are you gonna live, Ava?
I'm gonna live with you, but
So it sounds like that's her mom or something about to charge her rent. And don't get me wrong, math is math. And you know, what's interesting is most people don't ask themselves the question when they're in situations like this, whether they're her age, she looks like she's like 18, 19 years old. They don't ask themselves the question, how can I? Right? They usually say what they can't do. I can't do that. Well, why not ask yourself the question, how can I? It's so much more simple, right? Because now you can be creative off of how you make money. And people don't recognize how easy it is for you to change your perspective. It's so easy to change your perspective because, well, it's easy once you get access to it. But people have to get exposed to this type of information because at the end of the day, there's no way out for a person that has this type of mindset. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
you're not gonna kick me out.
Ava, okay, so you have to pay $500.
I can't. There's no way I can. Wait, so like, so basically like $50.
So this is cool because it's her mom, you know what I'm saying? She got a good relationship with her, obviously. But this is the same conversation grown-ups be having when it's the cost of living. How can we? I can't. And it's like, how can you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do something, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, people can say it's easier said than done, but I don't believe people really even attempt to make more. You hear people all the time, I don't want to start a business. Not everybody is meant to be a business owner. If there was everybody that was a business owner, then there'd be no employees. Is that your excuse? To stay poor? To have a weak mindset like that?
Being an American right now is some scary fucking shit. Studio apartment, $2,500. Average cost of a car, $50,000. You want a bacon, egg, and cheese? Motherfucker, them eggs cost $20. You need gas to fill up that $50,000 car? Well, get ready to spend $70. The government? Yeah, that's no longer a thing, buddy. You want to be educated and go to school so you could do something with your life? Well, sorry. That's no longer a thing. If you happen to look something like I do, Hispanic, we're gonna send you out of the country, even though you were born here. Oh, and that small check that you earn every week, yeah, I'm gonna have to take half of that. Give me that. And that car that you paid $50,000 for, we're gonna have to charge you taxes every year for that too. Pretty much, living a comfortable life in America right now is almost fucking impossible.
All right, this ain't Trump, bruh. Like, people love to put that name Trump on everything that goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? You constipated, it's Trump's fault. You got a pimple on your forehead, it is Trump's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. My man is talking about filling up your car. To my knowledge, I'm living in Virginia. I've seen gas lower. I've seen it lower than what it was, even when Trump was in office earlier. Spend $70 for your car, get a Toyota, bro. You know what I'm saying? You want to be educated, so you want to go to school so you can do something with your life. Who said you got to go to school to do something with your life? But let's say you go to school. Okay? You understand that it's the school's fault why school is that much to go to, right? Because the government allows schools to name a price because they know the government's going to loan out so much money to certain students that qualify for financial aid. And so they use it up to the T. And this is Trump's fault? Nah. I see the comment section right now. People are saying America sucks. I still remember when a McChicken cost $1. McChickens aren't even real chicken, bro. Chill out.
Living in America is so expensive that it's not even living anymore. It's just a recurring subscription. You pay to live, you pay to work, you pay to eat, you pay to sleep. Rent, more than half your income. Groceries, doubled within a year. Gas, insurance.
If rent is more than half of your income, you need to have roommates.
Bills, taxes, damn near make money just to give it away. You're not living the dream. You're financing your own.
That's all you can do with money is invest it and pay for stuff. You save it. Okay, somebody else is investing it for you. What do you think happens when you put your money in a savings account? The banks are trading it. The banks are investing it. The banks are loaning it out to cover their ass so they can loan out your money and then have an interest rate for somebody else. And then by the time you want your money and have access to it, they got your money. It's meant to circulate.
An exhaustion. And their solution is budget better. Like you're out here buying Ferraris and filet mignon every single day.
No, most people are overspending on credit cards, paying the minimum, paying interest, taking out home loans. Like if you have to pay interest on anything, you're losing. And I'm in student loan debt and I have a car note. But I'm working to pay that off aggressively. And that means after my 9 to 5, I got a 5 to 9. But people like this complain all the time. Oh, we don't have any money left. Cap. You're just not doing the right things in order for you to have money left.
When in all reality, you're broke just buying basic needs. And here's the kicker. You do everything right. You go to school, you get the job, you play by the rules, and you're still barely hanging on.
Because it is a lie. It's a lie. Go to school, you'll get a higher paying job. It ain't no guarantee. They guarantee you get a degree if you follow their curriculum. Go to school, you get you have a better chance of getting a higher paying job. You're nervous for the interview. Why? Because you don't even know how to sell yourself. So it's been a lie. There's nothing wrong with the college degree, but when are people going to wake up and recognize that it's always been your responsibility for you to accomplish things that you want to accomplish? Some people are actually comfortable living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? As long as they can pay their bills, they're good. I ain't trying to live like that. And certain people who are like this, who are complaining about it, obviously he's not okay with it, but he's not doing anything to improve off of it, as to my knowledge. He gonna be in the same situation as the person that's comfortable.
Not your fault. The system was built by design. They want you broke, distracted, and grateful for crumbs.
Yes, they want you watching Netflix. They want you watching Hulu. They want you scrolling on TikTok. They want you scrolling on Instagram and Facebook. YouTube is a little different. You can learn. It's one of the reasons why I make these videos, so we can actually hear what other people are saying and actually have a wealthy mindset. As many people hate the rich, man, you can hate them as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm working to be wealthy. I wouldn't say rich, but I want to be. I want my money to be making money, man, and I want to make a lot of it. And a lot of y'all can be mad because of that. I don't give a damn. Stay broke then.
As a stressed, tired population doesn't rebel, it complies. Living in America is so expensive.
All right.
As a Londoner living in the US, this is the greediest country I have ever lived in. So here's a list of things I've had to pay for which make no sense and would send the European mind into absolute psychosis. Let's kick it off strong with number 1. I pay processing fees for my rent. I pay my rent and then I pay $6 to process my rent.
He's probably paying with debit card or credit card. They're called vendors, and they're the middleman between the company and you, and they handle the transaction. And they do the transfers. So yeah, somebody's making the money in between.
Why am I paying you money to take my money?
If you do ACH, you don't pay fees. Unless I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section down below. But I'm probably not, because I've lived long enough to live in three apartments. And I have friends that live in apartments too. And I'm like, we ain't had to pay no processing fees if we didn't pay with a debit card, especially a credit card.
Now, the next thing is I didn't realize how expensive healthcare actually is. But one day I had a really bad toothache and I went to the emergency room. First mistake. They scanned my insurance card, put me in a queue. And when I finally get to see a doctor, he looks at my tooth and says, yeah, we can't actually help you. You need to go see a dentist tomorrow morning. I said, cool. 2 weeks go by, I get my bill. $600. Luckily, I had insurance, so I paid $120. But think about this for a second. I paid $120 for a doctor to tell me he can't help me.
Oh, I thought he said $120 for the doctor or the dentist to actually work on it.
Now, this one takes me off beyond my imagination. I stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel in Chicago, stayed there for 2 nights for around $200 a night, plus I paid for valet parking. But when I got my bill, the numbers just weren't adding up. On top of all the money and taxes I paid, they still charged me a $32 resort fee. What is a resort fee? And when I'm asking the receptionist what is a resort fee, Nobody can answer my question. And what's even worse is it's not a flat fee, it's $32 per night. The next one was
Now that's kind of crazy. I thought it was gonna say something like a damage waiver, just in case anything get damaged. But if nothing is damaged, then you get that refund. But it doesn't even sound like that. Have you all ever been billed a resort fee? I know I haven't.
kind of annoying. I got my car towed, $350. Pro tip, do not let your car stay there overnight. Now the next one is typiculture, and since
Now he could have dodged that. I don't. He could have dodged that, man. Like,
living here, I've learned to leave a 10% tip. But think about this for a second. Your boss is so greedy that he doesn't pay you not a livable wage, doesn't pay you a survivable wage, then guilt trips us, his customers, into covering the rest of your wage for you. The level of greed you need to have to even think of that concept is literally something only Mr. Krabs would.
well, in the restaurant business, the profit margins aren't high unless you're selling alcohol. Um, so they don't make a lot of money to begin with in the restaurant business. So I believe that's why tipping is a thing in the service business when it comes down to, you getting fed and getting served. Now, tips are everywhere, in Subway and Starbucks and whatnot. I tip everywhere because I believe money is abundant. Even if it's $1, I'm like, take it. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm ingraining that money is going to come back to me. I'm attracting tons of money from unexpected directions and intentional directions. So you can have that stingy ass mindset of not tipping. That's cool. I'm not doing it because I truly believe I should tip everyone. I'm doing it because I truly believe money is abundant. And if I give it away, I know I'm putting things out there in the world that are going to return it to me.
Now, honestly, guys, this list is 25 things long. So if you want to see a part 2 or you like,
we're not going to see the part 2, but subscribe if you like the content for sure.
I am so tired of living my life in survival mode because despite having 2 college degrees and making close to $80,000 a year, I still cannot keep up with the cost of living. I still cannot afford all of my bills every month and have to live paycheck to paycheck. I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
80 grand a year isn't bad. But I'm wondering if she has kids. Oh, wait. Is that her pregnant up there? Let's continue.
I am sacrificing my mental health, my time, and my energy to take care of people in their most vulnerable moments. And a lot of the time, they do not make it. At the very least, I should be able to pay my bills.
Okay, sound like she a nurse or somebody in the healthcare industry. Shout out to my healthcare workers for sure. I know that's not an easy job. All props to y'all.
And for anyone who's thinking, oh, well, you shouldn't have chose that job. Somebody has to do it. And you know damn well, if your loved one was critically ill, you would want somebody to take care of them, right? Something has to give. I cannot keep doing this.
It's investing, baby. It's investing. You know what I'm saying? Living with roommates. You know what I'm saying? We watched a video earlier today where somebody was talking about it's $150 to take care of their cell phone bill. No, it's not. You paying for the service and the phone that you want to break up into 24 payments because they made you think you needed the latest and greatest. Cap. You know what I'm saying? What are you buying for food? Is it protein filled? Because protein helps you feel more full than stuffing yourself with carbs. And stuff costs more as well. Don't get me wrong, protein filled stuff costs money too, but you'll be full for longer. You got to play the smart role. And these are little tweaks that you can make to save a whole bunch of money. But let me know what your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
And when are we gonna address the fact that the cost of living is literally costing a fucking living? I ain't signed up for this shit. A motherfucker is tired. Very grateful to be able to obtain in this time that we're living in. Cause God forbid you gotta start over. They not even hiring, not only for degrees, but for regular jobs, regular positions. They're not hiring for shit. Then don't have been somewhere where the cost of living was already high as a motherfucker. Now it's triple double that. Quality shit as fuck. Go to the grocery store. The second you buy some motherfucking fruit, you bring that shit home. Do you know you got 30 minutes? 30. Gas is literally lasting 2 and a possible. Bitch, 48 hours? All I did was go to work and back home.
So I don't even care about the price of gas. I drive an EV, but even like I have a second vehicle too that's paid off. But even when I drove that vehicle, I don't give a damn about the price of gas. You know why? Because when I need to get somewhere from point A to point B, I gotta have gas anyways. There's no point in complaining about gas because you need it. That's like complaining about air. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be like, damn, I had to take 10 breaths just to say that sentence. Why do my lungs have to work that hard? It's like, would you rather not breathe? Would you rather walk? Maybe if you're in a city area, then take public transportation. But let's not complain about the price of gas, please.
Like, it's not even that far, bitch. I'm like 10 minutes away. Like, I'm over it for real though. I'm truly over it. Then they wonder why motherfuckers ain't having kids. Like, is you cool? For
Facts.
what? Motherfuckers
Facts.
without kids don't even want them anymore. Like, it is.
I be telling people all the time, man, I'm not having kids unless I'm wealthy. And a millionaire. You can hate it or you can love it. I don't give a damn. Because at the end of the day, people can, kids are great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It's truly a blessing. Okay, cool. But the only, you know what I'm saying? The only baby that was put into a woman's womb without having to do the act was Jesus. So I know a baby ain't going to appear out the blue in my life. So I'm good. I'm not going to wait till I'm a millionaire. I'm going to become a millionaire. And then it's going to be cool. We can have the kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think $1 million is enough, actually. Now thinking about it, it's not even enough. If you spend $1, you're not a millionaire no more. But I really meant just having like $1 million in assets. I even did the math on this, right? And it's still not a livable wage, especially for having a family. But if you get $1 million and you have it spread among different high yield savings accounts, and you get paid an average of 6% per year, I believe that's $5,000 a month, right? Times 6%. Yeah. So you're making $60,000 a year, $5,000 a month by just having $1 million spread among high yield savings account. That's not even investing into stocks or anything yet.
No, they don't even want them. And then everybody else that have them already, they're done. They're done. Bitches is starting to get their tubes tied. Bitch, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I don't have to get an abortion. I'm not having no more. Like, is y'all fucking cool? It's crazy out here. On top of it being HIV every motherfucking word you turn, bitch. Ain't nobody worried about fucking. Then y'all.
All right, what, bruh? Like, stay out the streets, man. Stay out the streets, man. What?
Getting ready to take away Medicare and Medicaid. Who the fuck got time to be raising kids on top of taking care of their elder loved ones?
Hey, look, the cost of living is just getting higher and higher, man. At the end of the day, it's gonna be a bigger gap between the have and have-nots, and I'd rather not be the people who have not.
We are in a depression right now, but the only reason it's not called that is because the wealthy people are wealthier than they've ever been. It's not a depression for the rich people. The rich people are doing great. During the Great Depression, the average cost of a home was about $4,900, which today is equivalent to about $90,000.
But why compare? Why compare when you weren't even born? I don't compare because I won't even living during them times, man. I'm good. Like, I'm not about to, yeah, man, the Great Depression, bro. I really wish I lived in the Great Depression. Bro, it's called the Great Depression, bro. Why are we looking at prices labeled over the Great Depression, bro? It's depression. Am I wrong? No.
It was around 3 times the average person's wages. Today, in 2026, the average cost of a home is around $410K, which is about 8 times the average person's wages. This is not accidental. This is not just inflation. This is deliberate overpricing by wealthy people so that they could get extra profit into their pocket. And you know what? That's working really well for them, because back in 1985, I think there were only about 9 billionaires in the US, and now there are over 1,000. And we're
Okay, so let's just do the math real quick. He just said that the average cost of a house is like $410,000. All right. If you get $410,000 and you pay a 20-year mortgage, all right, this is not including interest, by the way. It's $20,000 a year. We're not talking about you getting a lawnmower, buying gas for the lawnmower, cutting the grass, making sure you get True Green to make your grass look green, paying property taxes, making sure that you got home improvements along those 20 years. If anything breaks and you don't have homeowner insurance coverage under it anymore, or something voids the warranty, you got to pay more money. We're not even talking about utilities yet. But $20,000 a year for 20 years is somewhere along the lines of $400,000. Now, if you get an apartment, let's say that's $1,600 times 12 months. That's $19,000 a year. So rent is just about the same price as getting a house. If not a little bit less. If it's more, okay, cool. But you don't have to be obligated to fix all the problems that come with the house. So don't get a house. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I told y'all before in the video, and some of y'all got pissed. It was just like, oh, bro, who has the money everybody doesn't have the money to buy a house. Okay, cool. Right now, as of this moment, in this second, I don't have enough money to buy a house cash. But I'm gonna figure out a way. That don't mean I can't figure out a way. I'm not about to pay interest to a bank just because I don't have the money, just so I can say I own something, just so I have to pay them 20 years. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on the homeowners out here that follow this channel and watch my videos. Shout out to y'all. There's different routes to wealth, but I'd rather rent and then own a home, rent that mug. I'm trying to keep it clean, y'all. Rent that mug out and then have the person who's paying me rent for my house pay the mortgage, and then I make the profits because I paid for the house in cash.
Been on track to have our first trillionaire. Can you imagine such an unfathomable amount of wealth? The thing is, you can't. Just how unimaginable is that? Let's put it this way. If you counted one number per second, it would take you about 31 years to count to $1 billion if you were counting.
It don't even matter, bro. People gonna hate on the rich as long as they poor. You know what I'm saying?
No one can buy a house anymore. So now we're forced to rent. But then the rent got expensive. So now we have to buy an RV. Now,
It's actually pretty smart though.
to live in the RV. So we try to live in our car. It's legal to live in the car too! So we become homeless? We can still live on the street.
Okay, so just rent. It's not that complicated.
I'm going to explain to you guys how much more expensive things are today than they were even 3 years ago based off of my current financial situation. So 4 years ago, when I graduated law school, I graduated making $65,000 a year. I was living in a 1-bedroom by myself, paying $1,400 a month. After the first 3 months, my boyfriend moved in, and so then we were splitting it, so it was $700 a piece. But he lost his job at one point, and so for 3 months before he got a new one, I was covering the rent all by myself. So it was about 6 months.
Did they not have a savings? Did he not have a savings?
Of me paying $1,400 a month for that year-long lease. Now I make about $85,000 a year. I have 2 roommates, and we split the rent 3 ways. And usually my rent is like $950, something around that. So I'm making technically $20,000 more a year. I'm paying roughly the same of what I was paying in rent. And I have never been more stressed out about money in my entire life.
I mean, you said that you were living in a 1-bedroom. It cost $1,400. You were splitting it. It was $700 a piece. You moved, and then you have 3 roommates. Does that mean you have a 3-bedroom? Because that's genuinely going to cost more than a 1-bedroom. It's more square footage. It's probably 2-bathroom. Yeah, you're making $20,000 more, but it's not costing you $20,000 more per year in order for you to live with those 2 other roommates. So if you think about it, her $700 a month times 12 is $8,400 a year for rent. That sounds so sweet. All right. But if you get her new rent model, which is $900 a month, $8,400 versus $10,800. So really, you're only paying $2,400 more per year to live with those other 2 roommates. So if you're complaining about $20,000, then that means somewhere along the line, you're missing $18,600. Am I right? Yeah, $18,600. Where's your $18,600 going? Numbers aren't going to lie. You know what I'm saying? It's not the rent that's making her miss the $18,000, man. Something's going on. Something's going on. I don't believe people write out what they spend and track it. I just don't.
Every time I think about or trying to move out my parents' house, the cost of living just get higher and higher. Like, insurance goes up, gas goes up, not to mention the fact that you gotta make 3 times the rent of wherever you live at, which is kind of insane because the average person my age ain't even making what I'm making. Not to mention
That's facts. I do agree with that. It was crazy when I moved into my first apartment. I found one apartment that didn't require you to make 3 times the rent. And I was so grateful for it. But by the time it was time for me to move into another apartment, they asked for 3 times the rent. And that first month, I think I made close to $7,000, and my girl was making a couple $1,000s, and we surpassed that 3 times a month. But we were like, "Yo, I don't know how other people our age are gonna make it." When honestly, stay your ass at home, man. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of it. If your parents are gonna allow it, even if they charge you rent. You know what I'm saying? Even if they charge you rent, my people charge me rent. That's cool. I'm still saving money. I'm still investing. I just got to be more smart and wise with my money.
fact that I check my pay stubs all the time. I'm not making as nearly as what I would make if they ain't take all them fucking taxes out of my checks every 2 weeks. Like,
Yo, and we're gonna react to a tax return video of people like literally blowing their money because people definitely complain about taxes being taken out, but if you start a business, you get to have tax write offs. You know what I'm saying? Meaning they're not gonna take taxes out from, or even if you use the money that you got taxed on, you can get a return because you used it to invest into the business. So the loopholes that the poor people who have a poor mindset, I'm gonna say a poor mindset instead of poor people, but the people who have a poor mindset towards the people who figure out loopholes for taxes, you understand you can play by those same rules, right? You just got to learn how to invest into yourself so you can learn something and figure out how to write some stuff off legitly. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard. You just gotta separate yourself from what most people do, which is just chill on the weekend, sleep in. You know what I'm saying? Go to the bar, go to the club, watch Netflix, scroll on their phone. You just gotta change a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. Take a little time out your day, but most people won't.
and
Bruh, being an adult literally means.
Hold on.
every chance, you know what I'm saying? And like the average like monthly cost of it is like $2,500 a month. Like that's crazy. Like, and me personally, I never agreed with having to have more than one source of income. In my opinion, you having more than one source of income should be a choice. It shouldn't be I shouldn't need 2 sources of income to fucking survive.
That word should is really strong. You understand me? When you say should, you're coming from entitlement. The truth is you don't have to have a second stream of income. Just stay broke. Just stay complaining. Like this guy. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. If you got this type of mindset, stay in your situation. Be comfortable because that's exactly what you're doing. You have the energy to complain, but that same energy you can use to create something positive. But instead, you'd rather give yourself excuses as to why you can't do it. Oh, I shouldn't have to create multiple streams of income to live. Okay, don't. And the people who do are going to live better lives than you. Be happy.
I'm 23, bruh. God damn. I am fucking 23. And I'm already like having a midlife crisis for real. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to move out my parents' crib, but I ain't trying to live check to fucking check. Like, I'm sitting here making more money than I ever made ever in my life in a year span. And it's still not enough for me to fucking move out and be able to fucking sustain a living. Like, we're doomed, bro. And they wait until we get grown to do shit like this. Like, yeah, it's
My man got to read a book, bro. You got to read. It's a broke mindset, man. Look at this. Look at this comment. I don't want to overwork myself with multiple jobs. I don't even need to read the rest of it. We're going to read the rest of it, but let's just take a moment of silence real quick. I don't want to overwork myself with multiple jobs. What does overworked mean? Imagine you going to the gym, you wanting to lose weight and build muscle, and you overwork your muscles. I mean, to a certain degree, you could injure yourself, but you're essentially pushing yourself physically to challenge your muscles in order for your muscles to grow stronger. So in moments of distress and discomfort, there's growth. Growth can't be made while you're comfortable. But this person says, I don't want to overwork myself with multiple jobs. You're lazy as hell. They want us to work to the point where we're paying bills but never home. That's called grinding. I don't want that for myself. I want to survive on one income. Is anybody going to speak up? Get educated, get a skill, run your own business. That requires them to overwork themselves. You can't just start a business and just, you know what I'm saying, hope for the best. And people say get educated. But then you got people in college talk about how it's hard to get a job and stuff. Look, bruh, overwork yourself. It's called grind mode. It's not anything sexy about it. Surprise. I tried it. I tried to look for shortcuts. They don't work. Sometimes you got to be up 12:14 in the morning making YouTube videos on a Friday night after working a 9-hour shift. Surprise. Shit ain't sweet out here. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, being an adult literally means you always just need something. If it ain't paper towels, it's toilet tissue. If it ain't toilet tissue, you need a plunger. If it's not a plunger, you need Cascade dish pods. If it's not dish pods, you need laundry detergent. If it's not laundry detergent, you need to get your clothes altered. If you need your cat food, dog food, fish food, frog food, like it's always need something. And then after you get all that figured out, your car start making funny noises.
All right, man. If this is your life, let me tell you what to do real quick, right? Because I understand. You know what I'm saying? There's problems everywhere. But the more problems we have, the more solutions you can have as well for you to avoid those problems in the future or to help other people out. So one of the things that I did when I was in a rut and I was thinking, man, life is just beating me up right now. Bills and all this and that and third going wrong. Get you a notebook or get your iPad and your Apple Pencil and write a list of things that you're grateful for. That's it. Every morning you wake up, let that be one of the first things that you do. Write down 1 through 20, the things that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for a working body. I'm grateful for eyes that can see. I'm grateful for a roof over my head. I'm grateful for the clothes that I got. I'm grateful for my, you know what I'm saying? My hair, anything. You know what I'm saying? Because there's somebody out here without the stuff that you have, and they wish they had the opportunities that you have. And so you can get in a rut because the stuff we consume, the problems that we allow to grow, and it isn't until we shift our focus, again, our mindset, what you focus on is what you start consuming. If you focus on stuff that you have, your brain can't focus on stuff that you don't have. And then you start to create more excuses as to why you can get these problems solved more than what's happening to you. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens because of you. So, what are you going to do about it at the end of the day? And it's so crazy to me that some grown ass people, that are older than me, still have this victim ass childish mindset to where they're just like, well, everything doesn't work in your way in life. Like, I don't know that shit. Like, bro, let's be real, bro. You don't have to be 50 years old to understand that life isn't always going to work in your favor. You find that out as a child because you don't get everything you want as a child. Mom, can I get McDonald's? We ain't got McDonald's money. Okay, damn. You know what I'm saying? When I get a job, I'm going to get McDonald's. Like, bro, shift your focus. You shift everything. All right, that was the second segment of tonight. We're going to go ahead and hop into the third segment, which is homeowner regrets. I love talking about this. This ruffles a little bit of feathers out here for my my people who really dislike the idea of owning a home, and like them knowing that, damn, maybe it wasn't the best financial decision. You know what I'm saying? I'm not throwing it in nobody's face, but when I share my opinion, you know what I'm saying? We get some piranhas out here, just out here, well, what do you know about it? Well, I know it's debt. I know I'm not about to do it. Let's get into it, man. Subscribe if you like the content.
Simultaneously one of the worst and best decisions. I bought a house at 23 and it is simultaneously one of the worst and best decisions I've ever made. But here are some things people don't tell you about buying a house. Most of your mortgage payment early on, especially in early years, goes straight to interest. Like, I'm talking about over 80% is going to go to interest. My mortgage payment is almost $3,000 a month. Yeah, let that sink in. That's not
And y'all think renting is losing?
debilitating for me or anything. But almost over 2,000 of that is just interest. And then the second largest portion of it is towards insurance and property taxes. So only about right now, I'm about a year and a half in since I bought my house. Only about $200 something of the almost $3,000 I pay every month goes to actually building equity.
That's less than 10%.
And decreasing the balance of my loan. So a lot of people tell you it's great to own a house because you're building equity. Like, every mortgage payment you make is going to build equity.
That's what they
and
tell
while
you.
That's technically true, I pay almost $3,000 every month and only get like $200 in equity. And people will say renting is just throwing away your money. Like, I'm just giving all my money to a landlord. When you make your mortgage payment, you're also throwing away a lot of money. All the money that goes towards interest, you are also, you're never going to see that again.
And see, this is the problem with Americans right now, man. A lot of people believe the lie because the banks make you think, hey, it's an asset, You own something that's on paper that has a huge number to it. So, yeah, you have something to your name. And it's like, bro, let's be honest. You never own that thing. Even when it's paid off, you got to pay property taxes. But damn, 20 years? 20 years and interest and maintenance and utilities. We're not even talking about HOA fees if you got them. Oh, well, you can get equity. Okay. And you can invest money in the stock market too if you rent and you ain't paying all that interest. If you got to borrow the money and you got to pay interest, you're not at the advantage.
Not at like over $2,000 of what I pay every month is just going to some large corporation, right? And not building me any equity. Yeah. So anyone that is renting a place less than $2,000 is throwing away less money than I am owning a house. Secondly, your house may need a lot of repairs that people don't talk about, like just random shit.
What did I just say? Maintenance. People be talking about homes. Oh, you own it. You also own the shit that happens to it.
Shit that you have not thought about is gonna probably go wrong in your house. Since buying my house, I have probably spent around $30K on improvements and repairs. That is not an exaggerated number.
And yo, we're not even talking about the improvement. I don't know if she's talking about the improvements that she actually needed or the improvements that she wanted.
That honestly might be a modest guess at how much I've spent on improvements and repairs. Since moving in, I have replaced all of the pipes in the house. I've replaced the dishwasher. I've replaced the washing machine. I've replaced the sliding door because the old sliding door was rotting. I've replaced all the railings on my porch. I've replaced all the carpet with hardwood floors. I have fixed a crack in the ceiling because there was randomly just a crack in the ceiling. I've fixed my gutters. I've gotten new fans. I could go on. I can't list everything off the top of my head because, I've gotten my tub.
You wouldn't have to have paid for any of that if you had an apartment. $30,000 back in your pocket.
Repaired because there were cracks in my tub. Like, just so much can go wrong.
I remember having this one apartment, and it was my last apartment, and it had water damage. It was something that the builders had done wrong because it was a brand new apartment, and the water had like seeped in through a seal and went down the window seal, and the drywall was getting like bubbles in it and stuff because it had water damage. And we let the front office know, hey, there's water damage out here. We don't want mold to be growing and it's toxic, and so they went out and checked it and sealed it, and guess how much it costs? The same amount that we pay for rent the next month. You save so much money when you rent, man. It's a better time to invest aggressively when you're renting.
So much can go wrong, and you need to fix it. Like, a lot of it is like, some of those things were like improvements that like could have waited, like the new fans, the new railings on my deck. Like, technically I could have waited on those things. Although I don't regret those at all because they definitely improved like the quality of the home. But other things you can't wait on. Like, things are gonna emerge that you need to fix right now. And right now, I need to get 2 trees removed on the outside of my home because
Bro, tree removal is crazy, bro. Again, you wouldn't have to worry about stuff like that in an apartment.
also, it's not just repairs in the home, it's also shit outside the home. Another thing that people don't really consider. I have to get 2 trees removed because one is cracking my foundation with its roots, and another one is dead and could fall in my house at any point. And between the 2 of those trees, that's gonna cost around $7,000.
Oh, nah. This is the first I've ever heard of a situation like this, man. Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you heard of anything this crazy with home ownership? The damn trees?
They also want to replace like some ground pipes that I have, but I'm just ignoring that for the time being. So those are just a few things that I feel aren't talked about enough when we're weighing the pros and cons of buying a house. I know some people talk about those things, but I would say owning a house is still definitely very overglorified. I'm not saying that it's not a good investment. I'm not saying that it can't be.
It's not a good investment if it's not earning you money every month. Every month. I don't care about no equity that I'm going to take out in 20 years. All right. Yeah, sure. Long-term investing. I can do that in the stock market, though. If nobody's living in the house that's paying me rent to where I can make a profit, I don't care about no damn, and it's not an investment. It's an investment to the bank because you're making interest payments to the bank and they're getting free money every single month. It's not putting money into your pocket every single month. It's not an investment.
A great financial decision, but it isn't automatically a great financial decision. And I think that's where people go wrong. I think people set this goal of owning a home and they think that once they've reached this milestone, they're going to be like set financially, or that like no matter what the home is or the condition of the home, it's going to be a great investment just automatically, or that owning a house is automatically always better than renting. That is not true. Like, it's just not. Owning a house can be a good investment. It can also cripple you financially.
I'm glad somebody said it, man. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
I honestly wish somebody would have told me how overrated it is to own a home. My fiance and I just sold our house. We are back to renting. I'm ecstatic. He's ecstatic. We are saving so much. We were really young and stupid when we bought our house, so I'll give you that. But the weight that has been lifted off of our shoulders is, I can't explain it. There is so much maintenance that comes with the house, and our mortgage was ridiculously expensive. I can't even say the number because I'm embarrassed.
Man, I want to hear it, man.
We are probably not going to buy again for a very long time, or at least until we find our forever home. Just a PSA, if you're not ready for the maintenance and the cost that it comes to own a house, don't do it.
Yeah. This is why I say I won't be getting a home until I can buy it cash. And a lot of you are like, oh, well, Jay, you know how many people can buy a home cash? Not a lot of people. Okay, cool. Maybe a lot of people shouldn't be getting a home in the first place. Look at the comment section. Girl, wait, what? So you'd rather pay off someone else's mortgage? I don't get it. Then somebody responded and said, you can create wealth so many different ways nowadays. The idea that owning a home is the only way is ludicrous, specifically in a place like Texas where you have the highest rates of property taxes. I own a commercial property for my business only because I can deduct the property taxes. Meanwhile, I am maxing out IRAs and contributing to my stock portfolio left and right. What did I say? Stocks. I can earn equity in stocks. I can earn money in stocks, and I don't have to wait 20 years. Another person said, I actually enjoy renters paying my mortgage. Everyone should rent. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's go to the next video.
I bought a house at 22 years old and I regret it. So let me tell you why. So we thought that we were going to buy a house to begin our investment journey. But let me tell you something, investing is very expensive. And the town that I picked is not the town for me. I thought that because the house was cheap enough, I could maybe like stand living here for a little while and then move somewhere else. That moving somewhere else part never happened. Owning a house is so expensive. And now it's difficult for me to go to the next place. I'm thinking about having a mortgage and having my brother like pay it and a rent because of how much I hate this town. And for context, I moved from South Florida to Port St. Lucie. If you know, you know, houses in Port St. Lucie here are so much more affordable, but it was not worth it. The lifestyle is just not for me. And
somebody said that under my comment section. Shout out to the person who commented and was just honest about home ownership and about how, you know, it has given them disadvantages of being in a location that they feel kind of stuck in, but they wish they could relocate, but you know, they have to pay their mortgage and that's okay. Like, I'm not saying it's the biggest mistake in the world. I am saying that I don't think it's wise for anybody to get a house if they can't pay cash for it for so many reasons. It doesn't put money into your pocket from month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. People wait years for the investment to return. Hopefully you do get a positive equity. You know, your equity can go like you know you can lose money on the house, right? So that's not even a question. You know what I'm saying? There's not a guarantee that you're going to come out with a positive net worth or profit when you sell your house or whatever. So anyways, the problems that people go through when it comes down to owning a home is barely spoken about these days because everybody cares about owning stuff. And that's the American lie they want you to believe, is that you own something. You really don't ever own anything. You really don't ever own anything.
I completely regret taking on this responsibility of owning a house. Beyond that, the amount that we spent on the renovation was way too much. Of course, with every construction, there's unexpected costs, but with this house, it was just so much. And the money that we were going to use to help on our next investment property ended up being swallowed up on this house. Much as you say that you're not going to be emotional about it because it's just an investment, it winds up happening. Like at the end of the day, this is the house you're going to live in. It's your first house. It's all a very emotional process. And so we ended up spending too much. And now I am stuck in a house that I don't want to be in a town that I absolutely hate, all because I thought that I couldn't start my investment journey.
Yeah, it's not an investment until you make profit. In the comment section, someone said people really need to stop viewing personal residencies as investments because they aren't. And then the creator responded, the worst part is that I asked the mortgage broker and our real estate agent if we should buy our personal property first or investment property first. And they all said personal property. I wonder why. Now that I look back, I realize these people are not your friends and they just want to make a buck. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section down below.
I think one of my biggest pieces of advice for first-time homebuyers, and one of my regrets, so learn from my mistakes, is to slow down. Most of my first-time homebuyers, myself included, are buying fixer-uppers, right? Like, it's where we live is super expensive. Most of them need a little bit of work, and you want it done so fast. Sit on it for a little while. See what works in the house. See what floors you like. Figure out your style. Make a Pinterest board. I immediately got a new privacy fence. Ordered a custom back door, like new carpet. I wanted. Honestly, looking back, I spent way too much money. And then I would make more money and I would still spend it because I wanted to get the house done, and it's still not done. And also, I didn't know my style and what I wanted. So now looking back, I would honestly change a lot of what I did. Even if you have it, don't spend all your money, please. That is one of my biggest regrets, and it doesn't happen overnight. Making a house a home takes time, and I mean, here I am 3 years later still.
And people have the nerve to call this an investment, man. A home is an investment, but if you're renovating the kitchen you're gonna live in and it's not giving you a return, you're just pouring money into it. And that's cool and everything. You get to have your house look like the way you want it to look, but it's not putting money into your pocket.
Renovating, obviously. So it's just chill out a little bit. Just chill, feel the house, figure out what you like, save up a little bit of money, and just know that you're gonna get there eventually. But making a house a home does take time.
I regret buying this house. That's what I've been thinking every single day for the past 2 months. It has been hell, and I lost control, and I was just able to gain back control. There's nothing that sucks more than working so hard to achieve a goal like this, and to not even feel at home in my own house is absolutely heartbreaking. I worked so hard for this house, and I've been homeless before, and I should be grateful, and I am, but with everything going on, it's kind of hard to, but I'm ready, and I have a mindset to completely take ownership of this house and move forward from here on out. I wanted to do everything at once, which was a big mistake. Every single house owner that I've spoken to just told me the same thing. It's a process, it's baby steps, and you're not gonna get everything done in one day. Give yourself grace, just focus on the things you need to focus on, and the rest.
See, the things I need to focus on is investing, man. All that worrying about, oh, this is breaking down, who's gonna fix it, how much it costs, let me get a quote. I'm good on all that, man. I'm gonna just call the maintenance guy at my apartment and just get that thing solved. One of the comments, somebody said, yes, I've owned my house for 5 years. Soon as I bought it, broken AC, termites, windows didn't work, broken septic tank. Little by little, we fixed them, but I do it all over again before I ever rent a place. No one can kick you out of your house. What the Yes, they can. Don't pay your mortgage, see how quick you get moved out your house. Don't pay your property taxes, see how quick you get moved out your house. That peace of mind is worth it. Please, what did the comment section say? Just stop paying property tax. Just stop paying property tax and you will know how they will kick you out of your own house. Then somebody, or the same person responded and said, well, obviously, but not because the landlord wants to raise the price, sell, or move back in. All right, you're talking about renting a house, but an apartment is different, right? And yeah, they raised the rent, but to my own understanding and what I've seen from other people, it doesn't get raised that much. And even if they raise it, okay, it's still not as expensive as owning a house. You are renting it from the government. They will keep on raising property tax. That is true. You're not going to win. You don't own anything in America, especially when it comes down to housing, man.
We have moved 3 times in the last 3.5 years, and honestly, the thought of moving again right now kind of makes me feel a little sick to my stomach, but I also spend way too much time on Zillow. In fact, I treat Zillow as a form of social media, and I fear I'm experiencing my first case of home heartbreak since moving to Wilmington, because I found a house that I'm just completely obsessed with, but we are just not mentally in a place to buy another house right now. I feel like when we moved back in December, I didn't really share much of our experience with buying and selling the home that we lived in the Raleigh area. Buying that house was a massive financial mistake for us, and obviously hindsight is 2020. We have learned from it, but we also are not rushing in to buying another house. That is for sure. Obviously, if we'd known at the time that we bought the house that we would be moving a little bit over a year later, to Wilmington, we wouldn't have bought it, but we had no idea when we bought the house, and we just felt like it was something that we needed to do. We were feeling, I don't know, I think we were feeling a little bit of pressure from people in our lives and just like,
Yeah, man, that's how it is. I'm so grateful. When I was like 21 years old, I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and Robert Kiyosaki, which is the author of the book, was talking about how people follow this trail of life after they graduate college. They find a spouse, they get married, and then or it's either get married and get a house, or get a house or get an apartment and then get married and then they get a house, and then they, combine incomes, and they're like, we can afford it because we can afford the down payment and the monthly payments. And it's like they're putting themselves into a trap of making it longer for them to get actual true wealth. You know what I'm saying? Have a positive net worth. You know what I'm saying? People complain all the time about the price of college and stuff, but that's nothing compared to like the price of houses. You know what I'm saying? And the investments, the money that has to be put into these houses in order to maintain them and for you to live in them. And you're not even making your money, any type of money, back on a month to month basis, not even on a yearly basis. People talk about equity, but it takes them years to get to that point. Like, you can miss me with all that, man.
where we were at in general. It felt like it was just the next step in our life, I guess. And I really wish that we had taken a little bit more time to think about what we were doing and like decide if that was really the right decision for us. And I'm not blaming anyone else. We're adults. We made our own decision. It's fine. But I just really wish that we had done things differently. We just bought at, I think, probably the worst possible time to buy a house. And for what we owned, our monthly payments were absolutely insane.
See, and this is another thing. People always go by the monthly payments, always a monthly I don't care about no monthly payments. I want to know the interest rate, and I want to know how long it's going to take me to pay off this thing. I don't even want to borrow the money. But if we're talking about borrowing money, I don't care about the monthly payments. Again, this is exactly what they want you to focus on. Monthly payments. If you can afford the monthly payment, you can afford the thing. No, you can't. They're taking your money. They're having most of your money apply to interest. You know what I'm saying? And then you wonder why, man, why isn't it paid off yet? Because they charging you interest, and you're focused on the amount that you can take out of your paycheck, and they're focused on the percentage that they're going to get from you for free for not being patient enough to invest in yourself, which is the real asset, and then being able to pay the home off in cash.
Our monthly payments, and then what we ended up selling the house for, we ended up losing thousands of dollars on the house, which is just very unfortunate. And moving forward, it has definitely made us very cautious when it comes to buying our next home. Just the whole process of buying a house and selling a house is something that before we did it, I knew very little about. And also right now, like, first of all, we are so insanely blessed to even be in a position where we were able to buy a home and sell our home and even be considering buying another one right now, because the cost of living and the housing market is absolutely insane these days. And it's just,
when people say the cost of living is so much, they really mean the cost of their living. Because if you're wise over your finances, everybody's making money, and then you are sharing the rent, right? You're splitting the rent. You're moving smarter. So they're talking about their cost of living, their standards. Everybody doesn't have the same standard of how much it costs to live in America.
boggles my mind. It's just such a hard, stressful process that I feel like I don't hear people talk about a lot. Anyways, that's enough about that. I just wanted to share a little background on our current situation. Now, back to this house that I'm in love with.
Yeah, we're not going back to that house. All right, we get the point. Shout out to the creator. But looking at the comment section, I wanted to pull this one up. Someone said peer pressure to buy a house simply for the reason of it being the next step in life is so real. Renting is the best option for so many people. That's facts. You see, I always look at what majority people do and then wonder why the other side isn't as popular. It doesn't mean that what most people do is always the wrong thing, but it makes me question, why do so many people feel like this is the right way to go? Is it because it's tradition, which means that people don't think about why they do it? They just do it because it's been told to them that it's right. But not everything that's been told to you that's right is right. You know what I'm saying? Imagine somebody being racist and being grown up or raised in a racist home, and then they think it's right for them to treat certain people a certain way. It doesn't make it right. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what is right to society isn't always right for you. Most people are going to always talk about ownership and this, that, and the third, but they never talk about the downfalls of actually owning a home. And I'm glad these people are opening up. So I respect their honesty. I definitely respect their honesty, because a lot of people, they're not gonna keep it real with you. They're going, yeah, it's the best thing, man. I get to, I don't have to worry about the neighbors. I don't have to worry about being too loud. Really? $500,000 that you owe over the next 20 years? Wow. I hope you get some big speakers so you can make as much noise as you want to.
I'm in the process of buying my very first house as a 28-year-old with no kids. I'm not married. I am in a relationship. I close in 7 days, and I feel like I should be super excited right now and happy, but in reality, I am terrified. And I am so nervous, and I want to back out, but it is literally way too late in the process for me to back out. And I've missed my last chance to do that. And so now I am just like sitting here and regretting my decision, but we're just gonna have to make it work. We're gonna have to figure it out. And yeah, I'm gonna be house poor. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna afford food. I don't know how I'm gonna afford gas. I don't know what I'm doing. Who let me do this?
Damn. She should have said gas, bruh. Damn. I was about to say house poor is okay. You know what I'm saying? But damn. Not the gas, man. Somebody's I ain't even gonna read the comment section, man. Everybody talking about how they house poor right now. Bro. Look at this. Look at this comment. I gotta read this one. Look at this. This person says, you got this. Here's a house hack. Get a roommate and knock out that mortgage faster. In order to live like no one else, you need to live like no one else. Make the sacrifice and grow. Okay, cool. You gonna have a roommate for 20 years? Or, you knock it out in half. You gonna have a roommate for 10 years? She 28. She finna be like 38. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But you're responsible for that debt. Like, I'm just good on that, man. You're responsible for that debt. You can get a roommate with an apartment. And then the money that you're saving, first of all, you're saving a lot more. And then you can invest that so your money makes money. And then when it's time for you to get a house, you pay it off in cash. You ain't got to get no roommate. Because what's the point of you getting a house and then having a roommate? It's just like living in an apartment at that point. But you're still responsible for all the stuff that happens to it. Let me know what your thoughts on this in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below.
I think this might actually be kind of a hot take, but buying a house was one of the worst things I've ever done. Obviously, everyone wants different things. Every market is different. Everyone's personal financial situation is different. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, we live just outside of Austin, and we bought a house, and houses here are just very expensive. So, like, we couldn't really get a cheap house. So our house is a little pricey. And we...
What do you mean you couldn't get a cheap house? I don't know any cheap houses out here, man. Unless you're doing renovations, and that's the reason why it's cheap, because you got to do renovations.
Bought about 2 years ago, and we did a new build, so we didn't have to put a lot of money down, which was great. But anyway, when we signed the contract to buy the house, it was still being built. By the time we closed, interest rates had gone up by almost a full percentage point, and we also locked in when house prices were the highest. So basically we bought it the worst time possible in, the past few years. Within 2 months of living in that house, I realized that I did not want to live there. It's way too far from all of our favorite stuff. It's way too expensive. It's too much space, honestly. I don't like having to care for that much space. And I don't like feeling locked down. I don't like feeling...
That's the truth. Yeah, you get locked down when you have a mortgage. That's 100%. And you're living in the house. 100%.
We can't just pick up and move when our lease is up or something.
It took my husband longer to realize he felt the same way, but he also feels the same way. We decided that we would try to sell our house because we were like, we're just not happy here. Like, this wasn't the best decision for us. Like, let's just go. And we listed it like a year and a half, tried to list it at a price where we would at least break even. And obviously we haven't sold yet. It's been a year and a half. At this point, we are taking a huge loss on the house and taking out a personal loan to cover it, which I know sounds crazy, but our rent will be so drastically cheaper.
Thank you. I was not expecting her to go this route, man. I thought she was gonna thug it out, bro. But she's talking about selling it. It hasn't sold in over a year, and rent would be so cheaper. People don't talk about the cons of owning a home because they're so fixated on the public display that it gives of owning a home. You have your own property. It's yours. Nobody can take it away from you. Yes, they can.
That even with a personal loan payment each month, we are each still saving like $1,000 a month once we move to an apartment. I don't necessarily regret buying the house because I'm the kind of person that has to do something in order to realize whether I like it or not.
And that's the worst kind of mistake you can make because it's costing her thousands. But this is why I make these type of videos, so I can help myself stay on the right track, right? But also share my opinion because everybody ain't gonna agree with me, but those who do agree with me gonna rock with me, and those who don't ain't. And that's cool. Get a house. Learn. We gonna learn from your mistakes.
Not. And so I had it in my mind that like buying a house was the goal. Like everyone wants a house. It's the best decision you can make. It's a great financial investment, which like it absolutely can be if you time the market correctly, or if you're just going to stay there for like a really long time. Although I will say we've calculated, even if we stayed for 30 years, say paid off our whole mortgage, and then wanted to sell our house and like make back money on it, the amount of money we would have paid in interest and everything, all said and done, our house would at that point have cost us like, I think almost $2 million or something.
What? I thought she was about to say something like 800,000. She's saying 2 mil. 2 mil. After interest. What kind of house? They got a castle.
Or like 1.5, $1.7 million. And I kind of doubt that even in 30 years, we could sell for 2 mil or something and make, you know, a few $100,000 off of it. Like, I just don't think it's...
Bro, you can make so much money in the stock market, man. What?
Ever gonna be an investment that like pays off for us. I don't like totally regret doing it because I think I had to do it in order to realize it's not what I want. But if I could go back, obviously I would not buy the house. I would just stay renting in Austin. We would have saved so.
Yo, shout out to this creator. Honestly, I love her honesty and transparency because a lot of the times when we make decisions as men and women, it's like we don't really want to say that we were wrong, but like she's saying it, you know what I'm saying? In a way that's like helping us out. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to her.
So much money. But I think I would have always longed for a house, and I think I would have hated renting because I thought I wanted a house. So anyway, as my uncle put it, education is expensive. And that made me...
Ooh, that's so true. You know, one of my mentors literally told me, we pay for what we don't know. You know what I'm saying? He did a little example when he was on stage one time, and he was like, all right, let me, like, if I'm him, right? And I'm like, let me guess what college you went to just by looking at you. And if I guess wrong, I have to pay you like $10,000. And I get 3 tries, right? So he tried it 3 times and got them all wrong. And so he paid the person $10,000. And so the whole point of that lesson was you pay for what you don't know. So he paid him the $10,000 and said, well, tell me what college you went to. And he said, oh, I went to FAMU. And he was like, okay, now I know. So if I ask you again, would you want to do it? He was like, no. Why? Because you know. So you pay for what you don't know in life. You know what I'm saying? I think of it in another dimension as well, or another perspective. And it's like, you can pay money, you can pay time, or you can pay attention. I guess you can call that time too. I'd rather pay attention rather than pay in money. And sometimes I'd rather pay money and not pay time. You know, like cooking. I hate cooking. So I'd rather pay with money. But with things like this, debt and houses and stuff, I'd rather pay time.
I feel like the tiniest bit better about it. But anyway, I'm very excited to go back to renting. I don't think I will ever buy a house again unless I can pay for it basically in cash. Or we are just like, you know.
Bro, I just want to take a moment of silence right now. Shout out to this creator, man. She literally says what I literally just be telling people on this channel. I'm like, I'm buying a home cash. She just said it herself. I wouldn't make another move like this unless I pay it for cash or something else. But she said it. And people are like, well, not everybody can do it. That's the whole point. It's called patience. You don't gain patience by not having patience. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me charge my camera up real quick. It's about to die.
Set for life, kind of rich, don't ever have to worry about a mortgage. We can pay people to take care of the landscaping, all that stuff. Because living here in Austin, apartments are really, really nice. And compared to other major cities, they're very cheap for what they are. You get a lot of amenities. Like if you get a good management, you know, company, like they're great about taking care of stuff. There's always like a resort style pool, a great gym. Like it's a good set.
Yeah, that's what's up. But shout out to her, man, because you're playing the long game. At the end of the day, you buy a home in cash. You're playing the long game. It's going to take you a longer time to do it because, well, you know, most homeowners just put a down payment down and they quote unquote own a home. Even when you buy cash, you still got to pay property taxes. You still don't own it, but you also don't own that interest they're going to rip your ass off with.
My biggest financial regret that I've ever had in life was purchasing a home back in 2021 for these 3 reasons. Number 1, I had to put a 30% down payment on my home. My down payment was roughly around $330,000. I bought my 2-bedroom, 3-bath townhome for $910,000. And the reason why we had to put so much down at the time was just because of my income. I was only making around, I think, $100,000 to $110,000. That was the only way we could get the math work. Now, my monthly mortgage payment, if you factor in interest, taxes, HOA, etc., it's roughly around $4,200. If I was renting right now,
$4,200 a month. Bro, the old apartment that I would stay in, the highest apartment that I've ever had was a 1-bedroom. It was like 800, probably close to 900 square feet, 1 bathroom. Me and my girl was living in it. Nice, modern, brand new apartment. Wi-Fi included. It was like $1,850 a month. This dude's paying $4,000. He's paying over double what I was paying per month, and I'm not even responsible for the utilities. You winning if you renting.
I could probably rent a really nice 2-bedroom condo or apartment for $3,500. So that would save me $700 a month. However, had I just not bought a home, I could have taken that $300 and $10,000, $20,000 that I used as a down payment.
I thought he said $30,000 as a down payment. He said $310,000 as a down payment.
And just invested in the stock market. We all know the stock market bottomed in.
I'm wondering if that was cash or if that was like a personal loan that he took out to do that with. But shout out to him if it was cash.
2022, and fuck, man, you see where it is today, right? I could easily have an extra, at the very minimum, couple $100,000 in my stock portfolio.
And this is what I be wondering. I'm like, when people say, well, the equity can build up in the home, are you not involved in the stock market at all? Do you not like self-educate yourself? Or do you just follow what everybody else says and say, well, if you own a home and the market's good, then it goes up and you can make money off of your home and pull it out, or borrow the money against your equity. It's like, bro, you're borrowing more money off of borrowed money because it showed you that the market went up. You got to be kidding me, man.
Number two, in the market that I live in, renting is actually cheaper than buying a home. Again, as I previously stated, I probably am paying an extra, I don't know, $700 to $1,000 more per month by owning a home rather than renting one. And then number three, owning a home is just really, really overrated. There's maintenance that you have to worry about. I've already had to replace an AC, and my home is like 3 to 4 years old. So it's actually really, really new. I'm sure at some point I'm gonna have to replace a dishwasher, a washer and dryer. Owning a home is not cheap. There are a lot of expenses that come with maintaining a home, and you have to do it yourself. If I lived in an apartment complex, I could call the landlord and then they would send somebody to help me fix the problem. Honestly, if I could do it again, I would just rent a nicer apartment or a condo, whatever, in a nicer
Man, the video just froze up on us.
community, and then just invested my money instead.
Yeah. So again, you rent, you save money, you invest it, you earn money, your money makes you money. And then guess what? When it's time for you to get a home, you don't have to borrow it. And then it's still going to cost you more to live in a home because you obviously have to renovate or whatnot. But at the end of the day, you paid it off cash. The biggest payments are you don't have to make any. People just don't want to play the long game, man. People just don't want to play the long game.
So I've been a first-time homeowner for about a year now, and a couple of weeks ago, I started making these videos that started going kind of viral, where I talk about things I almost regret about my first home that are costing me money, and if I would have known, I probably wouldn't have bought in this house. For example, the first video, I talked about how I almost regret buying a house with a swimming pool. Second video, I talked about the landscaping. This video right here, I'm talking about how I almost regret buying a 2-story home. Let me tell you why. So this is where the problem starts. Right at the beginning of the house, for some reason, these 2-story houses have this thing called a sitting room. My Mexican ass grew up without a living room. I have a sitting room now. Why is that a problem? And why is it gonna cost you money? Because in a sitting room, you need furniture to sit. We've been here for over a year. There's nowhere to sit here. You know how expensive furniture costs? We have a living room over there. What the hell do I need a sitting room?
Extra space, man, and it costs you more to get furniture in there. It's a trap. It's a trap. We don't even need that much space. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he's saying.
So you need somewhere to sit. You got to spend money on that, right? Because if you're moving into a new house, you probably don't have an extra couch. My wife says you need a dining table right there, so when the gatherings happen, Thanksgiving, X's and O's, who knows what. But anyways, money. A couple $1,000. We have a basketball court at this point, man. We're just gonna create a basketball court right here.
Hey, yo, this guy is hilarious, man. I like this guy.
2, when you go and see a house, if it's a 2-story house, make sure you like the color of the walls. We didn't. We didn't like the color of the walls. You could tell some raza live here. Each wall was a different color. You know how expensive it is to paint one of these houses?
Facts. I remember as a teenager, my parents got the house painted, man. I don't even remember what the amount was, but it was thousands. It was thousands.
Expensive. You might say, well, why didn't you do it? How am I going to get all the way up there and do a good job? I'm 5'5". Even if I get a ladder. Look. The painters even forgot to take that thing off. I haven't even taken it off. I can't do it. It's money. You know how expensive it is? We did the stairs. We didn't do the top. We just did the bottom of the house because that's how expensive it is. Problem number 3 with having a 2-story house. What am I doing? It's 1 o'clock. I'm coming down the stairs. Do you know how annoying that is? After a while, you gotta go up and down, up and down, up and down these stairs. If I'm 80, 70, 60 years old, the rooms are up there. I might as well put a goddamn elevator.
Yo, And I was wondering, I was like, why did this person put this comment? Right? He said, "Consider it your starter home, Francisco. Don't look at it as your forever home. Build some equity, then use it to buy a one-story house in a few years. He's probably still going to have to borrow money. Not always possible. It will be hard to get a similar rate. Why do people be This is exactly what I'm talking about, man. People just hope for the best. This is not smart. It's not financially wise to be doing something like that, man. Like, oh, the home that you're paying on that you're already complaining about how expensive it is for you to maintain right now. Just hope that the equity goes up, and then, well, once you make that profit, go and get another home and borrow money. Like, that's so stupid, man.
Honestly thought about buying a refrigerator just to put it upstairs. Make sure there's restrooms up there, man. Problem number 4. We have kids. Safety. Imagine the kids fall down. That's the problem right there. When it gets hot, it gets hot. When it gets
AC? Oh, with taller ceilings too, you got the heating, you know? The heat rises, so the bottom is going to be cold. I know that for sure.
It's cold. It gets cold. It's expensive. Why? Because look at these. To get this house cold?
Same thing with top floor apartments, though. They charge more because it's a top floor. But at the same time, it has higher ceilings. But for a house, it's going to be significantly more.
The air has to travel. You're spending money to get the goddamn house cold. Ain't nobody even over here. So you're spending more money on electricity bills and the heating bills. That's money. Think about it.
He ain't lying, man. Again, this ain't coming from me. I've already shared my opinion about owning a house. This is coming from the homeowners. You understand me? Like, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, man. But I'm keeping my belief. I'm not buying one until I'm able to buy one cash.
I became a homeowner at 22 years old, and I instantly regretted that shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you why I regretted it though. So I ended up putting 78,000 down on my house, right? And once you get your house, right, you become house poor. Okay? Now, everybody's not gonna be house poor. I was house poor. I'm just speaking from my experience, bro. I'm young as shit, buying a house. I'm house poor at this point. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I did not really gauge all the maintenance that it took to take care of a house. On top of that,
shout out to my guy though, he got a Tesla. Shout out to my Tesla owners.
I had to put work into the house. They sold us the house, right? Sold the house with mold in it. How did I not know it was mold in it? Did you not get an inspector? Yeah, I had an inspector. Yep. This what these dirty, nasty, gritty people did. Scantless, right? They painted over the mold so thick that the detectors couldn't get it. And it didn't even smell like mold down there, nothing. It was all dry, right? Yo. So I had to go in, get the walls chopped out.
Yo. I'm so glad I'm watching this video right now. Because how else would you know?
Get the house waterproofed, whatever that came up to. So this is just more stuff you got to come out of. But all in all, I would say that I really regretted it once I figured out how much the maintenance was, bro. And like how often you got to do certain things. And obviously it makes it a little sweeter that it's your shit and it's an investment. But for me,
when people call it an investment, man, it always ticks me off. Why consider it an investment if you can't guarantee that it's going to make you money? You just can't. If the housing market isn't good for your house, you can't. You can't always just pull out your pocket. Oh, yeah, I made money off my house. You know what I'm saying? We just had a video where one lady was talking about how they tried to sell their house at a break-even moment, and they couldn't sell it for over a year. So they're losing money on the house, taking out a personal loan and going back into an apartment. Investment my ass. It's not making me money every month. It's not making me money every year. Investment my ass. The only way that's gonna happen is if I pay it off cash and then have somebody rent it out, and the profits coming to moi.
Personally, I just was not ready for that. Now the house is about to sell. I actually don't know what I'm gonna do with the cash that I do get from the house. Obviously, I might invest in another property. I think that's where my head's at. But just something to like rent out or something. You know what I'm saying? Not to live in. I can't.
Bro, that's so crazy. I don't be watching these videos until I watch them with y'all. But here we go, another homeowner talking about how he's switching towards renting even after selling his house.
Can't do it. I'd rather live in an apartment. I'm gonna be honest. You can call me crazy all you want, but I just feel like at this point in my life, I should be living in an apartment, bro. A house is a lot.
That's all I needed to hear. Subscribe if you like the content.
I'm going to say it. It might be a little controversial, but I'm going to say it. I don't think buying a house is all it's cracked up to be. I don't. I've said it. There's so much pressure to settle down to buy a house, especially when you have children. And I just want to say it's not that easy for everybody. I think it's easier to settle down and find and like stay put when you have family or like you're super close with your family, like you have a hometown. Does that make sense? I'm so thankful for our house and so thankful that our kids have so much land to just run free. However, we know we won't be here forever. So, I know, I thought this was gonna be forever. We thought so too. But we live in an area where the schools are horrible. Bad. I will never send my kids to school here. So if I ever want to put our kids in school, we have to move somewhere else where the schools are better. Living in the woods is great, but it is hard being a mother, and I will say I miss the community. I miss walking around. I miss the community pool.
And see, this is where I question at what cost. I mean, at what point in their lives were these priorities that she's bringing up not relevant in her life? And that's okay. Like, we do change our priorities in life as we, move upon different chapters of our life. But at the same time, you better hope that you can sell your house for a profit.
Community park. So in 5 years or whatever, I hope that we can find something that makes Tyler and I both happy. And I'm not really sure I want to buy another house for a very long time. So I'd rather rent. And I know people say,
oh, she went to rent. Hey, look, man, we winning over here. Renters winning over here, man. We know it's not smart for you to be paying a mortgage, be stuck. And again, it's no hate to no homeowners out here, but so many people find themselves in situations like this that are undesirable, not only because of the financial obligation that comes with the mortgage, but also the maintenance and the location. And she's explaining it right now. As her kids get older, they're going to have to find a better school for them. Okay, cool. If you want better for your kids, what is it? You want a better home or you want a better school? What are your priorities? But most people are not ready to purchase a home. They really need to rent, even if it's renting in a home, because the American lie is, oh, if you own it, you're winning. No, you don't own anything in this country when it comes down to renting or owning or a mortgage.
owning a house is cheaper. Not right now. Rent would be way cheaper than a mortgage, at least for us. We also can't just call up a landlord and be like, hey, this is going wrong, please fix it. No, we have to call a company and be like, hey, this is going wrong, and then we have to pay them money.
See, that's exactly why I love apartments again. I like just having the accessibility, putting in a maintenance request, even door dashing, even Instacarting. I don't like to grocery shop. I like to do things that save me time. If I didn't have to drive, like if I had the means to like Uber everywhere, I'd probably do that, because I think driving is a waste of time. I think grocery shopping is a waste of time. I think washing the dishes is a waste of time. I think cooking is a waste of time, because it costs time and it doesn't make me money at the end of the day. And it doesn't make you money either if you don't know how to monetize it, or if you're not monetizing it.
Lots of money. So that's just my 2 cents on buying a house. And I don't like feeling stuck, and buying a house makes me feel stuck. So don't ever feel bad for renting.
Yeah, I don't like feeling stuck either. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you like the content. Let's get it. All right, my people, we had an eventful night. This is actually the longest stream we've ever done, I believe. So shout out to y'all. Anyways, we're going to continue on to the last section of tonight. And that section is, oh God, tax season is coming up. So I know this video is going to pop off. So I'm actually pretty excited to cover this. But let's see how people are squandering, blowing, literally overspending on their tax refunds. I was about to say, man, I'm just tired. It's okay. It's like 1:10 a.m. Give me a break. All right, let's get into it.
Why are people always trying to tell you what to do with your money? They always just got the most suggestions about what you should be doing with your money. You need to invest into this. You need to do that. You just wasting your money. You just do that. Why would you buy this? Why would you buy? Let me tell you what you should do with your money. If you have any at all, you need to go buy yourself a fucking headboard, bitch. You need to get them kids up off an airbed. Period.
All right, obviously she's talking to another woman, but she's obviously offended.
They keep on jumping on the motherfucker and they popping the motherfucker every other day. That's why you got to go buy another one. Them kids play too much. They want real bad.
Okay, so the reason why I brought this video up first was because we're about to get into talking about how people should spend their money. Because I believe wholeheartedly that the people who complain about the economy and the cost of living and how much rent and mortgage and everything is, the price of eggs and Donald Trump, if they just look at the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror, they can solve 90% of their problems. Because the truth is, life happens because of them. Life doesn't happen to them. Let's get into it, man.
I'm starting to think that a lot of you guys who celebrate Christmas have some kind of mental illness, because how can one day you go from complaining that you don't have food stamps, that you don't have enough money to feed your family, or that you're going to have to get the money to feed your family by any means necessary, then to go to being at Jackson Hewitt and all these other tax preparers getting tax advance refunds to buy Christmas presents.
Tax advance is crazy.
Where is your brain? Where is your thinking? You just didn't have money to buy food, and now you're about to celebrate a holiday that you can't afford. So you are borrowing on funds that could help you get back on track ahead of time because you want to buy Christmas presents.
And we're going to see this in the next upcoming clips. People are so happy about getting their tax refunds when honestly, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, this is the money the government took from you and you're blowing it? These people are taking out advance tax refunds for Christmas presents.
It's a time of year where somebody's going to come on this app and say, you know, like, you're not supposed to actually get a tax refund. If you get a tax refund, that means you paid the government too much money. Stop. I'm 1099, first of all. I have to pay taxes. If people are happy about their tax refund, let them be happy. Maybe they want to get hardwoods in their kitchen. Maybe they're going to pay off some debt. Okay, stop. Let people have things and let people be happy. Let people be
The thing is, it was theirs in the first place.
happy about getting a tax refund. If you get a tax refund, congratulations. Go off.
People that spend their tax money on vacations are stupid. It's just not smart. Why don't you take that money and invest it into something? Do you see how stupid that sounds? Stop worrying about what somebody else is gonna do with their tax money, because tax season is right around the corner.
I don't think people are worried. I believe people are aware that people complain about the system all the time. And then when they get a leg up, they completely blow it.
And if somebody want to go to Disney World, if somebody want to go to Bahamas, if somebody want to go to Japan, China with their tax money, then let them do that, because it's not your money. Y'all got to stay out of people's business.
And here's the truth too. People love to blame the rich. Oh, the rich always get a tax write-off and they find all these loopholes and they take from us. But when they get their tax return, they spend it on Disney, which is literally a company owned by rich people. So make that make sense.
My girl just got her taxes and she finna splurge on me, heard me, so let's get to it.
Oh my gosh. It's been a real gentleman day.
Got the motherfucking taxes.
Which one of these you want? You said 1800 for that. 1800. You like that?
Yeah.
I got 1650.
Come on, let's go.
He wants that one. And y'all, we at Big T. If y'all got y'all Texas too, y'all better come up here and get y'all man something. You want something too?
Yeah.
Fuck it, what you want?
That bust down bitch.
This nigga talking about ain't no security. He trying to hit this bit. Boy, you tweaking, boy. Okay, now he wants some shoes. What?
Oh God. The culture, man. I'm not even gonna say race. I'm gonna say the culture because I look at people in a characteristic mindset, right, bro? Because the skin color ain't got nothing to do about how you spend your money and whatnot. But like, damn, bro, this man Jordan, bro, this man Jordan, man, this man Jordan be making bank off of people. And I mean, they buying fake jewelry in there too with the tax refunds, man. Now, you know what? It's not my tax money, so hey, so be it. But here's the thing. This is exactly why people say financially stuck.
Shoes you want? You want them? You can pick a pair too. Fuck.
That hoe's supposed to be hard, boo. That hoe soft as hell.
I bet you those are like $250.
Which one you want, babe?
You got that Balenciaga, bitch. I like that little.
I ain't gonna lie. I bought fake belts in high school. Thought I was the shit, man. Paid around $30 for a belt that was supposed to be like $500. It was fake.
Brown one, that little BB.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, not the mat, but the.
All right, real deal. And then we got
Black Air Force Ones
Give him a pair of Balenciagas.
on a tax refund is crazy.
What size you need in these? 8.5.
My goods, you gotta.
You know, I check their page. They really be buying crazy shit, bro. But, you know. I don't want to hear no complaining in 2026 about how high prices are, tariffs, this, that, and the third. I don't want to hear none about that, man. When people get more money in their hands, they act like they don't know how to invest it. And it's probably because they don't know how to invest it or they don't have the financial discipline. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below, though.
This is what we spent our $9,000 tax return on as people that have $30,000 in credit card debt. We do not put all of our money towards our debt. We make the minimum payments. We also spend and we save. Okay, so spoiler alert, we still have about $5,000 saved because we have so many things hanging in the balance. We spent about $5,000. Is that true? We spent $900 on a Big Bear trip that we just took this past weekend with both of our sons. That just included the Airbnb for 2 nights, and we ended up going bowling. I paid $20 to have somebody pick up my dirty laundry and clean it for me and drop it back off folded. We paid off our gas bill, which was...
I actually don't think that's a bad investment, but with that time that she bought back from not having to do her laundry, I would have been focused on making more money.
$700. Husband spent $100 on shrooms. Yeah, that's right. Donated $200 to different families in Gaza through Operation Olive Grove. $250 on shoes. Yeah, my husband spent $200 on a pair of sunglasses.
Bro, what's up with this video? Hold on. My bad.
Of our gas bill, which was $700. Husband spent $100 on shrooms. Yeah, that's right. Donated $200 to different families in Gaza through Operation Olive Grove. $250 on shoes. Yeah, my husband spent $200 on a pair of sunglasses. I spent $200 on some clothes. I spent $90 on a class pass this month, so I'm like working out a little bit. I spent $236 downloading Cerebral, which is a psychiatry app, because I felt like my antidepressant wasn't really working anymore, and I got matched with like a nice person who like is clearly brand new at this, and one of the first things she said to me was, wow, that's a really high dosage of Zoloft. I was like, okay, yeah, I know that, thanks. We did pay down some of our debt, so Dave Ramsey would be very pleased with us. I don't even know exactly where this went, but we paid $500 to one credit line, $300 to a loan, $900. What the hell? Oh, I think it's because for the loan I put 2 payments on it. So $900 for that loan, $500 to a credit card, and $150 to another credit card. So
damn, bro, just don't get in credit card debt. Oh man, I thought I had it bad when I had a $300 credit card bill. I'm like, man, $300. I gotta pay it off before I, owe interest on it. But the way these people be having credit card debt is insane, bro. I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm glad I didn't get into that.
I actually spent $2,350 on debt, and if you include the gas bill, that's $3,000 of just the tax refund. Okay, and I
Why is the gas bill considered debt?
just calculated about $2,000 for all the things that I consider to be like extra things that we bought during that time, but I'm kind of like unable to distinguish our tax return money from our like salaries, our paychecks that came in. So I was just kind of like isolating things that were definitely extras, like a Big Bear trip or someone else doing my laundry. This is what we spent our $9,000 tax.
Okay, so the comment section is actually really full of people who are like, this is exactly why your money is the way it is. Somebody said the entire video is a clear explanation of where the debt came from. LOL. The creator said, paying my debt isn't paying my family first. Enjoying our life puts us first. I'm gonna stop right there. Okay. That's a silly statement. I'm going to get in debt in order to take care of my family first. You work jobs, so you get a tax refund and you spend the first portion of it or a larger portion of it on your family, but your necessities were met, obviously. Like, you didn't say you needed these essentials, you got them. She didn't say her family needed shoes and her husband needed shrooms or, bro. I'm just speechless, man. People can come up with any type of excuse as to why they spend the money that they do. And again, they get these emotions mixed up. Something that feels like a need can honestly be a really strong emotion of wanting something really bad. That's what it sounds like to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.
My husband and I just did our taxes, and we are getting a refund of $4,562. Let me tell you what I'm going to do with that money. First, I'm going to put $862 in our savings account. That leaves us with $3,700. I am going to make a $700 car payment to my husband's truck loan. If you know that we're trying to pay it down by the end of this year. So an extra $700 to that. We will have $3,000 left. Then my husband and I are each going to have $500 to do with whatever we want. So that's going to be minus $1,000. So $500.
So they're spending 33%. That's a high amount. For me, 10%. I'm only spending $300. 33%, y'all. That's
My husband, $500 to me. We'll have $2,000 left, and then we're gonna put $500 to my kids' 529s, so $250 in each of their accounts. Then we'll have $1,500 left. Next, we are going to buy a new vacuum. We've budgeted about $500 for this after your guys' recommendations and us looking into it.
Vacuums be $500?
It looks like we're probably gonna go with the Dyson. I don't know.
So she's getting the best name brand.
And they're like $500. Anyway, so that's budgeted for the vacuum. And then we're going to do a $500 Costco haul, and we're just going to stock up on necessities, things we already buy, but then we won't have to buy them for months, like laundry detergent, dishwasher pods, toilet paper, paper towels, dog food. Just buy them now while we have this refund money. Then we will have $500 left. We are going to put about $300 toward home DIY and garden beds. I need to redo my garden beds.
And this is why I say owning a home costs you more money than renting. I'm good on all that maintenance stuff,
which I can see right now looking out my window. And then we have a few home DIY things that we want to do as well.
Because the thing is, like, once you get a mortgage, right? Or you get a home, you feel more obligated to do more things because you're responsible for everything. And that's okay. But you're responsible for everything. And it's like, that's why you end up spending more money. I'm good. I'm spending that extra money. She said she spent, like, she's going to put like $300. Am I right? Like $300?
And then we have a few home DIY things that we want to do as well. So $300 to that means
$300. So she's spending the 10% that I would have spent on fun money. And she's spending the 10% on like DIY home stuff, which, you know, do what you want with your money, but like, damn, man, like, y'all did end up spending like 33% of that money on whatever you want. I think this is whatever you want.
We have $200 left still unaccounted for. So I'm just gonna leave the 200. Like, we're not gonna budget it out for anything because maybe the vacuum will be more with tax. Maybe we'll spend more at Costco than 500, things like that. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
I like that she's paying off a lot of debt. I do like that. But the whole 33%, and don't get me wrong, they're basically taking 15% each, but I'd be even more stingy with that and do like 10% each, you know. Because 20% of 3,000 is what, 600? It's 20%. 20, yeah, it's 600. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think she's doing a good job, or do you disagree or agree?
This is how my husband and I are budgeting out our $6,700 tax return. Just to preface, we are a single income family of 4 with 2 dependents. We don't own a business, we don't own a house, so that's why we have a decent return back. I personally love budgeting videos, so let me share with you what we're spending our tax return on. We're first gonna pay off our only credit card. It's at its max balance of $2,000. We are setting aside 2 car payments totaling $620. Next, we're gonna get a month ahead on rent. That's gonna total $1,375. After all,
Now, personally, the rent thing, I don't know why people pay off rent early. If you have income rolling in, you know you're going to get your paychecks. I would invest that money, have it sitting in a brokerage account until I want to invest it, and then be earning money off of that. And then I still keep my $1,300, and then I have extra money that I can spend on leisure things. But to pay off rent early, like, this is exactly what Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about when the middle class has been trained to, you know, pay your bills, pay your bills. It's like they don't learn how to pay themselves first. That's the whole principle, is pay yourself first and then look at your living expenses. And most people are going to be like, well, our bills are going to come. How are we going to take care of ourselves and pay ourselves first if we got bills to pay? Well, the whole point is you set your life up the wrong way. So now you have to reconstruct it. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But anyways, reconstruction it. But they got jobs. So, like, pay it when your paycheck comes in, like you've been doing the rest of the year.
all that is said and done, that will leave us with $2,705. The next category is household essentials. Every year, we always go to BJ's to restock on essential items for our household. So we're going to be budgeting out $400 for that. And then the remaining balance is $2,305. Next category is personal. Both my husband and I are gonna get $300 each to get new clothes. We are in dire need of new clothes. My girls get clothes all year round, so we're gonna take the time to get some things for ourselves.
That's great.
After that, that's gonna leave us with $1,705. The next category is
All right, video is freezing up on me here. Here we go.
vacation. It's something that we try to prioritize to do.
Hold on. The live stream might be a little bit too long. That might be why it's freezing up on me. 1 sec, y'all. There we go.
From time to time. This year we're doing a 2 to 3 night beach trip. We are budgeting out $700 for the weekend. I am well aware $700 is a lot of money to go on a weekend trip, but in case if we choose to have a nice meal out or have a little bit of spending money to have fun and go to an attraction, we have a little cushion. After that, our remaining balance is $1,005. The next category is extras. My daughter's in dance. We're gonna get ahead in dance tuition. We're gonna get 2 months ahead. That's gonna total.
Good God. See, this is one of the reasons why I'm like, I am not going to have children unless I am wealthy. I'm well beyond $1 million. Oh, man. You know, I don't want to be hit with that, man, while I'm working a 9 to 5. I can't see myself doing that. Or at least having one stream of income. I'm good. I don't care if me and my wife are working full-time jobs, overtime. I can't see myself doing that, bro. Like,
$310. And then finally, savings. We're gonna save the remaining balance. That's gonna be $695. So yeah, that's how we're gonna be budgeting out our tax return this year. Thanks for watching.
What do y'all think, man? I think the $700 vacation is insane. It's for a weekend. I wouldn't be going on no vacation off of my tax return because it's my money in the first place. Like, I'm good.
Our tax refund this year is going to be $7,647. So it's my husband and I, we have 2 little kids. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Obviously, my husband paid in way too much in federal taxes this year. So we are getting back $7,647, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with that money. We use Tax Slayer. If you've never used it before, I really like it. It's different than TurboTax. Anyways, Tax Slayer. Like I said, $7,647. First, we are going to put $2,025 into savings, okay? That'll bring our total down to $5,622. And we are buying a new fridge. We've been wanting to buy a new fridge for 2 years since we've moved into this house. So we are buying it, and it is $2,022. So that brings our total down to $3,600. The $3,600, and then we are going to put $1,000 into our kids' 529s, so $500 each. That brings our total down to $2,600. Then we are going to buy new tires for my husband's car. We think that's going to be about $1,000. It could be less, could be more, but about $1,000. So that brings our total down to $1,600. After the tires, we have $1,600 left. So then my husband and I are going to each get $500 to spend on whatever we want. He wants to upgrade his computer a little bit, get more RAM, whatever. I actually don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with mine. I've been thinking about, like, what would I buy just for myself? Like, literally not.
See, and this is where I like. This is where I question. Hers is like one of the best that I've heard so far. I personally believe, like, if I gotta struggle to figure out what I want to buy, I probably don't need it in the first place. I need to just go ahead and invest it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out a way to spend money without knowing what I want before I even get the money is like, that's how you know you didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? So let's invest it, put it somewhere safe to where it can grow. And then when you have the ambition to get something, get the profits. You know what I'm saying? And then just do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to force myself to, find something to spend my money on just so I can, like, feel rewarded. I'd rather have a real life accomplishment, maybe lose 10 pounds, maybe get my 6-pack back. I'm working on that right now. Maybe save another 10 grand. You know what I'm saying? Before I go and do something that's like, oh, I'm just going to do it just because I want to reward myself. And it's like, it's your money. Like, they took it from you. You didn't earn interest from it. It's your money. It's not a reward.
Thinking about anything else, not thinking about what my home needs or anything, like, just for me. What would I buy? I don't know. So that might be another video. Okay, and then we'll have $600 left after that because 500, 500, 1,000, $600. So
Please invest.
Talking about buying a new vacuum. I am going to renew our children's museum pass. So stuff like that. So I don't know exactly yet, but we'll have a little bit of money left, and then we can kind of think about other things.
Yeah, she's not going to invest it. Okay. Well, what do you all think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Was this the best one you've heard so far? How do you spend your tax refund if you do get tax refunds?
My tax refund was $4,662. And if you're nosy like me, I always want to know what people spend their tax refund on. So my first charge was $1,729 on an Airbnb up in Maine for my sister when she comes to visit. We're also staying at this really nice hotel in...
Bro, hold on. Huh?
Up in Maine, $9 on it was $1,700. So my first charge was $1,729 on an Airbnb up in Maine.
$1,700. And how much was her tax return?
My tax refund was
What is that, like 20%, y'all?
$4,662. And if you're nosy like me, I always want to know what people spend their tax refund on. So my first charge was $1,729 on an Airbnb up in Maine for my sister when she comes to visit. We're also staying at this really nice hotel in Boston. That was $787. I put
Okay, she's spending anywhere from between 30 to I think 35% of her tax refund on a damn Airbnb. It's a little bit above 35%.
$1,000 into her savings account. I spent $145 on summer shorts. I got 3 pairs. I really needed them, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get me a little something. I put $800 into my stocks. Then I have 200.
Thank you, God. She said something about investing. She did something, but $800. She spent $1,700. She could have put 3 times 300% more into stocks if she the Airbnb. Somebody else getting that money, bro. Somebody else is making that money. And people be like, the wealthy, they don't want us to have no money. The cost of living, man, you spending your money like that, man. I need to own an Airbnb.
$1 left over, so I'm probably just gonna get her stuff she needs. And that completes my $4,662 tax refund. In 1 second, gone in 2 seconds, y'all.
I'm so frustrated, man. I want her to invest, man. I wanted her to invest more, bro, but damn. I'm just reading the comments right now. It ain't nothing crazy in here. It's what do you all think? Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below.
My tax.
All right, so
What the hell? Why did it?
Our tax refund.
Oh, okay.
all right, so Christmas really about done for me. Can we get into the more serious question? What are y'all spending y'all income tax on? I'm ready for my little 3 bands. And I already told my daughter, I said, as soon as the money hit the account, we're about this motherfucker. We getting us somewhere to stay. And I don't want to hear, oh, y'all got y'all somewhere to stay with your income tax. Yeah, that's the logical thing to do, to get a roof over your head. Every year when they have the income tax conversation, y'all be mad because people buy them little lemons because that's all they could afford, or move somewhere. What y'all want us to take these kids on a big fabulous vacation and not have nowhere to lay our heads or drive our cars or go buy hair?
Is she homeless? I hope she's not with a kid. You know what I'm saying? Where are they living right now that they gotta pay for a place to stay?
Nails or something? Nah, we want our peace of mind. So yes, I always do that. Every income tax, I pay my rent up for like 2-3 months. I try to pay all the bills up for 2 or 3 months so we could just chill and stack, because an emergency gonna always happen. And last year, my damn car broke down, and that was a few $1,000s. So yeah.
But can't you just stack your tax refund too? Like, you stacking anyways, right? So the money just circulating at that point. Like, if you working, waiting on your paychecks after you pay off your rent in order for you to stack because your rent's paid off, isn't it the same as keeping your tax refund and then waiting till your checks come? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna play it like that, then what are we really doing here? You keeping the same amount. Am I right or am I wrong? You know what I'm saying? I really should be saying, am I right or am I right? Because it really don't make sense. It don't add up to me personally. But hey, y'all let me know in the comment section down below. This one person said sort of kind of the same thing. Portia said, I pay rent for a few months, catch up on bills, stack up diapers and wipes, get kids clothes, shoes, maybe buy me a new pair of leggings. Okay. Well, if we get it, pay rent up for 2 months, get a reliable car, and put the rest up. So people be paying their bills and then saving a little bit. At least this person. But here's my thing too. This is literally not paying yourself first. Again, you're not using the money to invest to make you more money at all. You can see the spending cycle of people and how they can keep themselves poor, living paycheck to paycheck, because it's the same cycle. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a new life and be in the same cycle at the end of the day. Very interesting though. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you like the content. All right, my people, that is tonight's show. I think this was the longest show. This is episode 3. I wanted to, I'm basically testing different clips and everything. So sometimes we'll do long form, sometimes we'll do short form, but we did a lot of clips. I think we did a total of like 60 clips tonight. We working, we grinding. It's Friday night. It's 1:40 a.m. and we probably will go live tomorrow. We'll see. Um, but I appreciate everybody for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Even if you disagree with me, I don't really care. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I will see you guys on the next live show. I'm out. Peace.